artificial intelligence could spell the end of the human race.
It's a flying object, and we don't know what it is. I would hope somebody is checking it out.
It was a rocket or whatever, but incredibly fast, opposite direction. It was too fast to be an airplane.
I'm glad the Pentagon is looking at this, because if it poses a threat, I want them on top of it.
Well, the craft generates its own gravitational field.
You said there's lights in the sky?
The internet has become the command center for criminals and terrorists.
911, what's your emergency? I need help, please help me!
Aliens won't let it happen. You know, that's what we're instructed to say.
Roswell, Area 51. Alien kept deep under the ground.
1 0 1 1 0 1 1 6 3 2
Media doesn't have your best interest in mind. The government is self-serving. You're here for a reason. You're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. Broadcasting live from a secret bunker just off the extraterrestrial highway. Somewhere in the desert sands outside of Las Vegas. From somewhere in space-time, loosely labeled Generation X on planet Earth. And asking questions of you in earnest into the digital darkness. Good evening and welcome to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange, and I'm here with your co-host, Ash, the reptilian from Mars. And we'd like to say hello to all of you who might also have troubled minds. What's up, guys? You know the drill. It is Friday, and that means this show is live, and that means we are talking about all of the things. And what does that mean? That means we're talking about reality. Your reality, our reality, and the reality that the powers that be want us to believe. And you know who they are. The technocracy, the government, major corporations, academia, all of the folks that tell us what to think and how to think and when to think it. And here we are, raging against that machine. And hopefully you're of the same mind, and hopefully we do an okay job of it, and that's what we do. That's what we do in this show. We also talk about aliens, conspiracy, the paranormal, and everything in between, the 24-hour news cycle, and I think that kind of sums it up. That was as concise as I've ever been. I think I'm about done describing what the show's about before the music's out. That's crazy. But yeah, so that's what we do here, and the show's live. So the most important part here is we do the show live because we want to include you guys, and by doing that, we have the luxury of so you have the unluxury, let's say, of listening to our ums and ahs and our weird pauses and stuff that happen on a live show, because that's just the way live shows go, and weird technical quirks. But the advantage is we get to talk with each other while the show's going on. You don't get to hear it in a vacuum in some podcast edited and scripted and done in like the back room and then released. And no, you can call. You can be on the show right now tonight. And that's how you do it. 702-957-1037. You call that phone number. It's a Las Vegas area code, which is where we're streaming from. And or you can join the Discord and go to troubleminds.org, the official website. Click the Discord link, and you can get on there and be on the show that way as well. So, again, we will read chat as we go. So if you have a pertinent chat, go ahead and type it in there, and we'll read as much as we can. But if you have to be on the show, if you have to be heard, if we're missing something and you got show feedback, you want to say hello, any of that stuff, this is welcome to everybody. But do call 702-957-1037. And there we go. I've talked quite a bit, too much to start. So let's go to Ash. What's up, Ash? Ladies and gentlemen, your host, Ash the Reptilian. What's on deck tonight, my man? How you doing?
Hey, how you guys doing tonight? It's good to be here as always, and I think we got a good show planned for tonight. Tonight we will be talking about alien disclosure. Is it coming? Is it around the corner? Why do you think, if it is, it's happening soon or now? Tomorrow? Never? That's what I want to hear from you guys. We want to hear what you guys have to say, what you think. And I'm going to put some evidence out there to see what we can kind of get to. So, yeah.
There it is. There it is. News from Mars. So what we're going to do tonight is we'll do news like usual. We have a few news stories picked out that we think are pertinent and relevant to the troubled mind's ethic, ethos, mythology, as you will, hopefully, at some point. But we're going to talk about that. And then we'll do that in a minute, but we'll do shout outs first. So if you guys want to shout out, just type in the chat where you're listening from. Just your city's fine or your state is cool. And then we'll shout that out. If we missed you, then just type it in and we'll do it as we go. We try and read the chat. I'll start on Mixer for our buddy there, Noble Cal L. What's up, buddy? What's up, buddy? He's there hosting us on Mixer like usual, and we appreciate that. Also boosting us on our Discord server. So if you hear Ash's voice a little bit more crisp, that's because of Noble Kal-El. So there you go. Appreciate that, man. You are the man. Appreciate you being here. Thanks, consistently. Man. Appreciate boosting the server, all that good stuff. All right, so let's see. Let's go to Facebook. Let's go to Facebook. You wanna do shout outs on Facebook there, Ash? What do you think, buddy?
Yeah. Let's see.
First names, no last names.
Gotcha. I know the rules. So, all right. The first one we got here is Timothy. Hi, Timothy. What's up? Nice to hear from you. Tony. How you doing, Tony? We got the classic and one of our top fans, Todd. Thanks, Todd. It was a pleasure talking to you last show.
Different Todd.
Chris.
Different Todd.
Justin. He's doing like the moon alien emoji. I love it. Timothy. Chris, Matthew, Nikki, hello from New Zealand. Hello. And I think I got everyone. Oh, we got Sean, a good fan here. Paul, and Alicia. Is that how you say the name? Alicia, that's it.
All right, good enough. Let's see. Kelly shows up. We got so the other Todd. There's two Todds. There's three Todds. Christopher. We got Trevor. There's more. Carlos, how you doing? Larry. Folks showing up late here. Fashionably on time. Let's say. Larry from Ontario, Canada. How you doing? We got Penny from the United Kingdom. It says, "Hey, Mike and Ash, what's up? Am I classed as a top fan yet?" Yeah, you're definitely a top fan. You're the toppest fan. You're definitely the toppest fan. I appreciate you guys showing up. You're the best. Okay, so that's what we got on deck tonight. We're going to talk about disclosure and talk about maybe some of the reasons why it's coming now, and talk about some of that. So we'll get to that shortly. But for right now, we're going to start with some news. So let's start with some news, Ash. Let's see, what do we got here? Let's move to this first one, reported by themedium.com. This is curious. This is near and dear to Ash's heart. He likes the remote viewing quite a bit. But this is reported by themedium.com, and it's the headline: "The CIA admits psychic abilities are real, but cannot figure out the science behind it." And so we've actually talked about this in the past quite a bit. With Operation Stargate and the government that's kind of they did that whole remote scene business, right, where they actually had they spent money kind of looking into this stuff. So these documents say, this is reported February 15th of this year, so just last week sometime, and they admit it. So they according to the documents, they admit that this is real, except they don't know how or why or when or where. And just like oddly enough, right, the powers that be, the CIA, they're here to tell us the answers, but somehow it gets out that they don't really know the answers. remote viewing there. So I can talk about. I'll read some of this article, but what do you think about that, Ash? Go ahead. I'm sure you got some ideas about the remote viewing and the CIA here.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of funny how we're starting to find out that our government's leaned on this, right? These abilities to spy on other bases or figure things out. And if you get into the whole aliens and all this kind of stuff, it seems like everything's connected, right? We talked about witches, that we talked about powers there, and reality. There just seems to be like a little bit more that humans just don't understand, and that includes our government. But the data's starting to mount about this remote viewing thing, that maybe there's something there. So I did not hear about this, and this is pretty recent, right?
Yeah, this is just a couple weeks ago. So this, but these are actually old documents. But because like I said, Project Stargate we've talked about. Let's read some of this. So David Bohm was a controversial yet brilliant luminary in physics who argued that the entirety of the cosmos is populated with quantum black holes that lead from the explicate order of space-time to a realm that transcends space and time, which he referred to as the implicate order. Right. So so breaking off the article here for a sec. This is kind of that Akashic record, right? And sort of that there's a knowledge of the universe that people with higher levels of consciousness, let's say, are able to tap into, and maybe that explains some of the psychic phenomena that gets reported. And again, a lot of this stuff, right? A lot of this stuff, like Ash uses the term woo-woo, and I think that's accurate in a lot of cases, right? Because every time you get something like this, there are compelling stories, and then there are also the frauds. So I think that's probably why we talk about this stuff, and the reason for the show is because we have given the data that we have to try and do our best as individuals, me, you, and everybody else listening, to actually make up your mind on whether this stuff's real or not. And maybe some of you out there are sensitive. Maybe some of you out there can remote see, maybe remote view. I'm sorry, and maybe astrally travel, or all kinds of different things, right? And so I can't, as far as I'm aware, you can't do this stuff, right, Ash?
Funny story.
All right.
So, I watched all the remote viewing stuff. I was really interested, and they're like, "Oh, anyone could do it." I'm like, "Even me? Maybe can I do it?" I give it a shot, and I did some quick tries, right? And then I had my friend pick a target, and I did it, and I could really, I felt it. I'm a super amateur. I don't really know what I'm doing, but I just did what they said, and I nailed it. I guessed exactly what it was. They had said they thought about their parents' house. I got their parents' house. There was goofy people there. There was a dog there present, and I just kept sensing wood. So I don't know. Beginner's luck. I'm not going to confirm if it's real or not. And I am very curious. It is kind of a woo-woo thing. Is there more to it? I mean, it seems like the CIA is into it.
It certainly seems like we have a fascination with this, even on a government level, right? And these documents do go back. It was remember that remote scene, Project Stargate, where the guy, they gave the guy the information 1 million years ago, coordinates on Mars, and he was able to talk about entities that lived there, actually like extraterrestrial beings, tall people, and there was some sort of cataclysm on Mars. I mean, there's some stuff here that kind of makes you scratch your head and wonder, right? So this David Bohm fellow from the article, he says these black holes were termed holospheres, right? Where he's kind of talking how they kind of from our dimension or our universe or whatever term you want to use, they actually they reach into these places where maybe knowledge is the flow of time. Maybe that's where this stuff comes from an entirely different dimension or a parallel universe, or who knows, God knows, right? But we're here talking about it anyway. So he hypothesized these holospheres as the mechanism which connects the implicate order to the explicate order, and so that would be where we're at versus where we go, right? Where we go to find this information. And he continues here with the Akashic records, and I mean, this is apparently, according to, if we're to believe the government. I'm sorry, I'm choking on my laughter there.
What?
Yeah,
why would you not believe the government?
Yeah.
Why the government would never lie to you? Don't be ridiculous.
I know I'm being ridiculous. Here I am being ridiculous again. Once again, it's another show night. So here I am being ridiculous. But you got to think, right? If they're expending resources to do this, it's either a boondoggle and they're paying off some donors, right? Which is probable, or there's actually something to this. And so kind of curious. I did link this article. You guys want to check it out? Pretty good stuff. It is recent, but it's kind of citing old data. This is the same type of stuff that we've talked about with Project Stargate, but So they admit, the CIA admits this is a real thing, and this is what do you guys think? Is remote viewing a real thing? Do you think there's an Akashic record? Do you think there's a knowledge sort of outside of the flow of humanity in some other realm that we can access? I don't know, right? That goes to Edgar Casey and Nostradamus and these types of things. Yeah, there's a ton there. There's a ton to look at, a ton to talk about, but I don't know.
Yeah, I think we're gonna make a show to follow up with that because what I'd like to do is like to well, it's kind of I've already started working on it, but we're gonna test some of these remote viewers. We're gonna because if it's just some random guy on the internet and they're like, yeah, I could tell the future, you can't confirm that, right? So I'm gonna set up some samples, maybe get some consultants, and we'll see. But yeah, we have some good comments here. We got Larry says it's good they can't understand how it works. He's talking about the government. They would weaponize the paranormal and dreams. Oh yeah, that would be absolutely terrifying if the government was visiting you in your dreams.
Yeah, you think?
No, it'd be fine.
It'd be
like
fine.
I said, the government.
It's fine. It's fine. Get the flu shot. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. As Sean, our favorite Canadian, here's another good one. He says, "No one can hide from psychic Big Brother." And that's what's up, Sean? That's a great comment.
Terrifying.
That's a great comment.
They know your thoughts.
You know your thoughts. I know your thoughts. Got a couple more shout outs. I think we missed a few people. So we'll do this and then we'll move on. We got Saul from Rockland, California. Thanks for showing up, buddy. We got Justin. Says, watch Project Blue Book on History Channel this season. Has CIA remote viewing. I haven't got that far yet. I got 3 or 4 episodes in, so I'll it's boring me, to be honest, but I will watch it at some point and catch up. Let's see. We have Larry. What's up, Larry? Thanks for showing up. We got Chris. Thought is the true fabric of the universe. Such good comments. You guys are on point tonight. What's up, Heiberg? What's up, homies? How you doing, buddy? Thanks for showing up. A couple more on YouTube. We're going to call these guys out, shout them out, as they say. Let's call them out. Let's be mean. What's up, Paul? Thanks for showing up, buddy. We got, who else? We got Dan from SoCal and like Penny, as I said. All right. Thanks for showing up, guys. Perfect. I
got some personal shout outs here. Thanks, Bing, for joining us. Hang out. He says, what's up? And then Micah, thank you for joining us. I don't know if you guys have been here before. We're going to talk about some crazy stuff. So grab a drink, grab a smoke, light it up,
buckle your seatbelts.
Sit back and enjoy.
Yeah, buckle the seatbelts, strap on the tinfoil. We're about to get into this. Okay, so there we go. So there's remote viewing. The CIA. I linked the article if you guys want to read the rest of it, but they're kind of citing old documents. But it's still, the fact of the matter is that the CIA has actually acknowledged remote viewing as a thing, and also by acknowledging it and not really having an explanation, by saying that they don't know what the hell it is or what it means or how accurate, or there's a ton of data points, which of course most are classified, unfortunately, because we get what we get, but of course, but we talk about it anyway. Okay, so all right, so let's move on here. So we got some other stuff. Let's see. Let's go to nextgov.com. Here we go. I'm gonna link this one, and again,
what do we got?
Again, real quick, so this show is live, guys. If you want to be part of the show, one more time, just call us. 702-957-1037. I'll put the phone number up and we'll move to this next one here. But you can be on the show. So right now, we'll read chat as much as we can. So go ahead and chat away. We appreciate all the interaction and all that good stuff, all the good information you guys share. But if you want to be on the show, just dial that phone number. We'll put you on, and or you can join the Discord. So 702-957-1037. Join the Discord, which is you can go to troubleminds.org, click the Discord link. It's on the top right. Can't miss it. Right next to Listen Live, and we'll put you on the show. You can get and join the Discord. It's a chat client. It's a voice client. So if people aren't familiar with Discord, it works both ways. So if you want to get in there and chat and type, that works. And if you want to be on voice, we can do it that way as well. Ash is on Discord right now. It's how we do the show. So there we go. If you're not familiar, that's what's up. But 702-957-1037, troubleminds.org, and let's keep moving here. Let's keep moving.
Good
here.
breakdown. Okay. Good job. Let's go.
Thanks. You're the best. All right, here we go. So we got nextgov.com. Check this out. We've talked about the Big Brother, right? So somebody said, Sean there said, what, psychic Big Brother? Well, this is how about a real Big Brother? How about digital Big Brother? So this is reported by nextgov.com. And the headline is House Subcommittee Knocking at Amazon's Door Over Ring Data. Everybody knows the Ring doorbell, right? that thing where you press the thing and, it goes, what's that sound? It does like that that chime, do do do, whatever it does, right? With their little signature chime. But
Oh yeah,
yeah,
that thing scared the hell out of me one day. I went over to my friend's house, and like a step family's house, and we're standing out front, and they started talking to us. And at first, I thought it was in my own head. I'm like, oh my god, I just lost it. But they were like, they saw us come to the door, and they like Skyped into it or whatever, and were talking to us. It's weird, kind of creepy, huh?
it's a little creepy, yeah. So supposedly you're supposed to be able to, with a Ring doorbell, answer the door anywhere in the world, right? As long as you have an internet connection and you have the Ring app on your phone. Somebody comes up to your door and rings the little Ring doorbell, and the camera turns on, right? I think it actually turns on before you even ring it, right? Because there's some sort of motion tracking.
Yeah.
I don't have one myself, but I think that's the way it works. So they're there before they even come ring the bell. So if there's some kind of motion happening in front of your house, it's supposed to turn on and capture this, right? Which of course, you see the problem, right? And so there's additional problems with just privacy, right? So then basically every time a car drives by, you're filming your neighbor across the street, right? It'll kick on for like a minute or 2 minutes or whatever, right? To actually film whatever's going on. But you're
Right.
kind of watching them inadvertently as well. You get footage of the house across the street type of thing, and them on you as well, So every time, so think about it this way. This is the weird part. Every time you come home and you park in your driveway and in the garage, whatever, you bring the groceries home, right? If you have a Ring doorbell across the street, they're filming you every single time because it kicks on because of the motion, right? So you think about this and think about the actual big brotherness that's happening here, right? So you think about that. It's like a little bit creepy, right? So you can kind of, right, with a 1080 definition and maybe zooming into video, you could probably know exactly what kind of groceries your neighbors are buying, right? All the time. If you want to be that creepy about it. You see what I'm saying? Doesn't that creep you out a little bit, Ash? Just even a little
Yeah,
bit?
no, it's creepy, and think about this, like this stuff isn't really scary until you until you until you start to like feed all the data to an AI, right? So this data set may not be like, by itself it's nothing, right? But once you can feed it to a system that can process it, break it down, tag you, know where you are, then it could just track and keep track of all that information. All your neighbors that walk by, it could tag them. Look, I know their patterns. So if I'm the CIA, right, and I want to take you out, I can know exactly what times you walk through a neighborhood and when. And then I could even dial in and be like, oh, this is a nice safe area to take this guy out. So really creepy stuff. And these are just the cameras and the data from the doorbells. And the problem is this may not be like the thing that brings us in the Big Brother, but if you can get the data from all different kinds of cameras and feed it into one area, then you start to get a real good picture of what's going on. And that's when it gets scary. It starts getting some China stuff.
Definitely. Great comments. Sometimes you just can't pass up the comment. John on Facebook says, my neighbor keeps buying generic Captain Crunch. What a loser. You're too good, man. You're too good. That's too good.
Burn his house down. No,
burn it down.
Please don't.
You don't burn it down.
I'm joking.
Yeah. A grain of salt, what we say. We're not totally serious all the time. We're only halfway serious half of the time. So there you go. So that would be 25%. So yeah, don't go with what we say. But yeah, that's pretty funny. My neighbor keeps buying Captain Crunch, generic Captain Crunch. What a loser. There you go. So you got the Ring doorbell.
There's so many cereals out there.
so many weirdo ones, right? The malto meal with the big bag and the puffy wheat. Anyway, okay, so we digress. All right, so check this out. This gets worse. So the chairman of a House oversight panel wants a briefing with Amazon officials about the consumer security tool. Amazon, why? Because Amazon owns Ring. Amazon bought Ring. So Ring was kind of the hottest thing, couple 3 Christmases ago. Everybody was getting them as gifts and all this, right? So they're attaching these spywares to their front doors, and that's what's happening, right? Except here's the problem. It's one thing. Think of it this way. If you have a Ring doorbell and it runs to like a server inside your house, and by server, I just mean like a hard drive, right? You have a hard drive in your house. It's collecting data and it's, feeding it. So you have, it's your personal data, right? Because it's your front yard. It's your house. Okay, fine. Except that's not what's going on here. You don't have like a personal like server or hard drive where this is being saved to. This goes to the cloud, right? So that the data happens, it goes to the cloud, and then what happens to it after that? That's the problem. So it's not just that you're like, okay, I have the right to see what's going on in my house, in my front yard. Sure, I'm with you on that. Like, I'm probably going to set up some cameras that go straight to a server in this house, right? That's it. But not to the damn cloud. It's going to go to a hard drive, and that's it. So that's one thing. It's a private security system. Okay, but now if this thing actually goes to the cloud, to Amazon cloud servers, it's been widely documented that Alexa and Google, what was it? Okay, Google. If I just woke up all your phones, sorry, but like these types of things are overreaching, right? Like they're hearing and seeing things that they shouldn't be because big data. And so here's the problem, right? So to break it down, the issue with this is all this information from every neighborhood basically in the country and basically in the world, wherever this is working, they go to Amazon servers, right? And from there, that means Amazon has become the surveillance state. They've become Big Brother, right? And so there's been and the reason for this, the chairman of the House Oversight Panel wants a briefing because now law enforcement is going to Ring to get information from their servers, right? When they're like, okay, we had a burglary, or we had a this, or we had a that, right? And so they're going to Ring to get the information from the servers on these houses where they might, this block, this time, and they're given this information, you see? So we have a big problem here. There's a big problem with surveillance, and because it's not privately happening in your home, it goes to the cloud where the technocrats, they handle it, they deal with it. And then so there's been these partnerships with local law enforcement we've talked about in the past, where they come to they don't knock on your door and ask you for the data. They go to Ring directly, right? You see what's happening here? This is scary. This is Big Brother stuff. This is where we're headed, and this is I don't know. How do you guys feel about that? That creeps me out just a little bit. Just a little bit,
Yeah.
Generic Captain Crunch, how dare they, right? How dare they? Wait. We got to do it. I think we got to do it. There, we got to do it.
How dare you?
Yeah, we got to do it. We got to do it.
There it is.
With the generic Captain Crunch. How dare you? No, I mean, but that's kind of the point, right? It's like you can't. It's not like a personal data anymore. So at some point, you're collecting data for somebody else, and then they're handing it over to the cops. You see what's happening? So you think it's protecting you, but in the end, like Frank said back in the day, they're watching you, they're surveilling you, and you install it in your own damn house. They're watching you. Anyway, there we go. What the fuck, right? What's going on here? Anyway, okay, so anything else about this? We maybe have some comments here that we'll read, but yeah, I mean, how does that make you feel, Ash? I mean, so that's the point. They're trying to legislate this. So imagine when you match this with facial recognition. So you're going to be able to from the Ring servers, from your front door, know who drove by your house, because they're going to have eventually, probably team with Facebook, because they are Facebook, or I'm sorry, they are Amazon, right? So they're going to team with Facebook or whatever. They're going to do their own facial recognition. You'll be able to know who drove by your house, first and last name, probably their birthday, probably where they're, where they live, their address, right? Like these types of things just from the Ring doorbell, right? From a facial recognition scan as somebody drives by the front of your house. And then the cops are going to be able to just pull it at random.
Right.
Not at random, but let's say they have a, wink, wink, a reason. Yeah.
Well, we talked about this, like going off the radar, right? You could kind of do that. In China, you can't really, right? Because there's so much AI camera footage that they've got them locked in. They don't have everyone fully locked in China, but that's what they're working on. And it just feels like the walls are slowly coming in around you. And it's not like people will argue, so what? I'm not doing anything wrong, until you are, until they change the rules, right? And so in the UK, they're actually starting to pass more and more laws, and I think in other countries, in Australia and different that if you get accused of racism, I saw this actually in the UK. If you're accused of racism, then they'll take away your health care. So all they got to do is keep changing the goalposts whenever they want for their agenda. So they might identify, a certain percentage of the population, implement a rule that basically targets them. They have these data and the system. It's at the end of the day, you make government too powerful, it's bad. Right.
It's bad. It's all bad. It's all bad. Or Mike, bad. you bought a six pack extra too many beers this week. Like your healthcare is now 10 times the cost, and you're cut off. You're cut. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like those are
That's a
the types
good
of things.
point.
Like again.
No. Yeah. You know what an actuary is?
Explain.
And I think, and I might get this wrong, but an actuary is the person who like basically runs statistical data. So actuaries get gobbled up by insurance agencies, and they run the data and they figure out what they can do to like reduce their costs. That's a perfect thing. Like if you say no, I don't do this is going to happen totally.
Yeah,
You know how you
happening.
you sign up for insurance? They're like, do you do this, and this? There was one time where I forgot I got a ticket or something, and I was like, "Oh, no, I haven't had a ticket in 5 years." And they're like, "Well, you had a ticket 3 years ago," and then they penalized me basically for lying.
You
So,
liar! You dirty
they're gonna
Martian
be like-
liar! You.
They're gonna be like, "Mike, hey, have you had a beer in like last 2 years?" And you're like, "Well, yeah, I'm not gonna say that." And they're like, "Yes, you did
Damn right.
last Tuesday."
They're like, how many?
That's crazy.
I'm like, oh shit. I'm like, 7, 12, 15, 8, 26. They're like, wrong.
This is pages of you drinking beers.
Exactly. We've got your grocery receipts. Wrong. You're wrong. Yeah, but that's the thing, right? That's exactly.
No, that's
so
a good
you
point.
end up linking these things with major corporations again, right? Again, the villains, the major corporations, and because we give them this over us, that's the problem. And then they partner with government because they're hand in hand because they're legislating for the major corporations, what they're paying them, for their next wink wink campaign cycles. Has everybody noticed? I live in Nevada, by the way, as most people know. And every damn commercial on every damn thing, right? Because the Nevada caucuses are what tomorrow. About what day is it? Yeah, tomorrow. So they're happening tomorrow here in the state. And all week long, every freaking commercial was Klobuchar, or it was Bernie Sanders, or it was Bloomberg, or it was this asshole or that asshole, basically. And like literally every damn commercial, right? It's I digress. But has anybody noticed? That's what's
Gross.
going on. It's gross. It's disgusting. But anyway, okay, whatever.
In the midterms, and I'm not gonna get on politics, but in the midterms, they were able to sway a lot of votes using like modern practices. I think Trump won because he had the better marketing agency, right? So
Big data. Big data.
big data, and if you run like e-commerce sites or do any of that kind of crap, or your own YouTube channel, whatever, that like you can do things to shift the eyeballs. So these politicians are starting to catch up, and it's like they're chasing you down, so they're going to be on your YouTube videos while you're watching some alien video. We're gonna have to run to somewhere else.
Yeah, exactly. A couple more shout outs here. We got Jim the Jeep on Periscope. What's up? Thanks for showing up, man. Who else did I miss? I missed some people. Who else did I miss? We got Sippy Talk on Twitch. Thanks for showing up. It says companies are making this tech so easy to install that people are ignoring the privacy issues. Yeah, they're actually they're embracing it. Like we're handing it over. Like I said, this is all on us, guys. This is all on us. If you buy this crap and you put it in where it goes to the cloud that you don't control, you're part of this. You're the one making this happen. You were part of the group that's making this happen. What's up, Fred on YouTube? Thanks for showing up. I see you there. Who else? Blah blah blah. Gonna make sure everybody got it. Cedric on YouTube. Thanks for showing up. We got hold on, a few more. We got Kurt on Facebook. We got Chris. Thanks for showing up here. Let's see who else. Paul. Thanks for being here. Paul from Texas. We got Marin. Thanks for showing up, Marin. Marin says, I think it will be a very long time before a contact will ever happen because I think our intergalactic visitors will ever make contact with us humans because they obviously can see just how destructive we are with our nuclear weapons, etc. We'll get to that in a sec. We're going to get to disclosure tonight, so we'll talk about that quite a lot.
It's a long comment.
That's a long comment. I can't read it all. Kurt says,
I read it all. So
okay, all right.
We'll get back to it.
All right, we'll get back to it.
Kurt says basic software coding to interpolating numerous camera into one virtual view. Oh wow, yeah, no, that makes sense. Like basically collaborating all the data together and collapsing it in. That's creepy. Let's
exactly. Hey, Paul called me out. Paul says, hey, Mike, you didn't say Nevada correctly. The hell I didn't. It's Nevada. It's Nevada. It's not Nevada. If you say Nevada, no, Nevada. I live in Nevada. There's the Boston, Nevada. No, yeah, it's the A. It's the Nevada. It's not Nevada. There you go. So I said it correct. There you go. See, you said it correctly. All right, so we're good now. Now that we're all up on that. So okay. Anyway, you guys get the point, right? This is Big Brother shit, and the more we allow it, it's like the smart TVs. There's a whole, like, we could do a whole half of a damn show, probably a whole show on smart TVs. But it's the same thing, right? All this information goes to a server that we do not control. And so because of that, because of the way technology is progressing, we are basically building the surveillance state. And these huge corporations partner with the government because, they want them to legislate favorably for them. And the reason the way they get it is by donating to these political campaigns, which kind of hopefully ties up my tangent with the Bernie Sanders ads. You know what's bizarre too? All the political ads I've seen in the last week. I don't watch a lot of TV, but every time I turn it on, right, you know how it goes. It'll be like 10 minutes of TV, 5 minutes of commercials, right?
Yeah.
So I'll watch it for like 20 minutes and just like walk away disgusted, but not because of the commercials, because of the TV and then the shitty commercials. But there's these commercials that are airing here in Nevada. That it's basically not like vote for this candidate or vote for that one. Basically, they're like, don't vote for Bernie. Right? It's literally commercial.
Pieces, right?
Yeah. It's like Bernie's a really good guy, but he just can't win. So I think we have to really look inside ourselves and wonder who can beat Trump, right? And so it's like literally like they're kind of not totally shitting on him, but they're saying don't vote for Bernie. Like, wow.
That kind of makes me think that Bernie is an outsider to some degree because
as
soon as he gets ahead, they turn on his ass. They
turn
on him, man.
Yeah, he's the front runner as far as I'm concerned.
Or not, it's interesting to see that happen, right? It's like, oh, okay. And then with the whole Hillary thing and the leaked emails, clearly they were co-opting him.
And it's going to happen again.
Two parties.
It's going to happen again. It's going to happen again. We're calling it right now.
The last election, just a little fun fact is that Hillary's campaign was basically keeping the Democratic Party alive. Her funding. That's why no one wanted to go anywhere else because she had the money keeping everything on life support. She was only paying enough to keep the party going. So like no one wanted to switch off of her, right? Because she's paying the bills.
Hell yeah, she's paying the bills. Yeah, that's what happens. Exactly.
I don't know if you guys knew that.
Yeah, definitely. She basically co-opted the entire DNC. So I mean, but here's the thing, right? So just to get off the politics real fast, but we started with surveillance state, commercials, smart TVs. So we're not completely off the reservation here, but Bernie's definitely an outsider. He's not part of the Democrat Party, and you'll see. So I'm calling it now. Even though he's the front runner, he's probably got the most support in the caucuses. He's not going to win the nomination. Book it. Michael Strange called it right now before Super Tuesday. I called it. Okay, so anyway, yeah, exactly. There we go. Mike Stradamus. You guys can call me Mike Stradamus.
Mike Stradamus. That's such a shitty word. Mike Stradamus. So bad. All right, let's move on. Next one.
Let's do it. Next one. All right, here we go. So there we go. So there's let's skip that one. Okay, check this out. This is reported by what is this? drmsh.com. Dermrush, Dr. Mersh. I don't know what the hell this is, but I found this is from academia. This is one of our favorites, right? And he says, and this is there's some interesting stuff in here. So this was like we'll catch up to chat in a sec, guys. So he basically said this is posted by Dr. Heiser, Dr. Michael S. Heiser, right? And so the headline here is UFO mythology as a tool of the state, part 1, right? And so UFOs, folklore. So he assigned it to his class here, and I don't know exactly where he's from or what class or whatever, but he assigned this class about folklore as a political tool of the Nazi regime, right? And then so he writes this follow-up as kind of using like equating UFO mythology to like Nazi propaganda, right? So I linked this. Read this shit. So okay, so
you know who talks about this, Mike?
Who talks about this?
Eddie Bravo. I don't know if you know who that is.
Yeah, Eddie Bravo. He's the guy from he's always on Joe Rogan's show. Eddie Bravo. He's his buddy.
God,
Does he talk about this?
Just shut the hell up about flat Earth, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah, I think that's the problem, right? There is such a thing as too much conspiracy, in my opinion. Yeah. But okay, so he does. He does talk about this. Yeah, okay. So this is from Dr. Michael S. Heiser. I don't know who he is, but he's got a PhD, so we have to respect him, bow down, etc., so on. But he's saying like all kinds of stuff here, right? And he's kind of I linked it. I'm not going to get into it. We're a little bit long because we talk too much sometimes, and most of the time, because that's what we do. It's a goddamn talk show. Get over it. But this is what he's saying. This is what he's saying. He's like there's some parallels here to like the UFO religions and the Nazi propaganda. So it's bizarre to me that everything has to go Nazi, but okay, whatever. Anyway, I like that you guys can check it out. Eddie Bravo talks about it. Cool. I didn't know that. Fine. I guess it's a thing, but I just.
Well, there's the whole paperclip.
Yeah, of course.
I'll just ramble about it just for a minute here, just to sum it up. But basically, the Nazi regime didn't really die. So if you watch Captain America: Winter Soldier, that's kind of like disclosure about this kind of stuff. Hail Hydra. That's kind of the same idea. And the fact that we had Project Paperclip, which absorbed a bunch of Nazis. There's a more far out there conspiracy that the Nazis basically retreated to Antarctica using their advanced technology, so yada, yada, yada. Have no idea if that's true, but it's out there. And that they actually won the war and they took over. So anyway, that's one conspiracy. But definitely Project Paperclip happened. We absorbed some Nazi scientists. And basically Nazis got into our government, and then they kept with each other. And and that we absorbed some of their implementations of things. And they had a lot of propaganda on their people, and it seemed to be pretty effective. And our government picked up on it. So whether that's like the Nazi party within our government existing and implementing these things, or the rest of our government absorbing these ideas from them, who's to say? But we definitely did. Our government did pick up some of this social tech.
Yeah, of course. But I think that the problem I have with it, and Kurt sums it up here, is he says, Kurt on Facebook, what's up, man? He says, let it go. World War II was over 70 years ago. I agree 100%. It's like, why do we? So you can. My point is, you can kind of make the case that ufology has become a religion of sorts, right? Where you get like the blue chickens and you get the Corey Goods and these guys, right? Where they know all the answers, right? They've met aliens and shook hands with aliens, and they meet them in their dreams, and they astral travel and all this stuff, right? But you can't get any like actual evidence from these guys, unfortunately, in my opinion. If I'm wrong, please somebody show me where I'm wrong. I'd love to see it. But like you can have a UFO mythology, ufology myth and religion that kind of goes hand in hand without equating it to the damn Nazis. Amen. Amen, Kurt. Let it go. World War II was over 70 years ago. Anyway.
The Nazis were such a great bad guy.
Yeah, they persist. Like how long do you guys really think that like in 250 years we're still going to be stuck on the Nazis? Or another 500 years? Like how long do you think before they finally disappear? Before some other asshole comes and takes over the number one, Xi Jinping takes over the number one.
Well, we did talk about like George Soros, right?
Yeah,
and he was like Nazi-ish. Those people are dying off. You know what I mean? Like in 5-10 years, we'll let it go. Like we should let it go, right? Definitely. All those people are literally dead.
Just let it go.
No one left.
Just let it go. Yeah, I agree. Okay, let's move on. Just pointing it out, like, ufology as a myth, fine. As a religion, fine. Like, there is this, right? And I think we should be cautious of this. Like, we like, you're here probably because you believe in some aspect that they're out there. How much of that you believe, I don't know. I can't quantify it. We're all individuals. We make up our own mind. But to point it back to Nazis again is just academia for you. Okay, so anyway, there we go. So UFO, let's see. We went a little long, so let's per usual. It's fine, man. I like going a little long. You like going a little long? It's fine. I like it long.
Oh, I like the long game.
You like it long or you like it thick? All right.
Oh God, Jesus.
All right, here we go. Guys, Jesus. Okay, so let's see. Why not both? Why not both? All right. So we got, this is reported by
the chat saying there's a little bit of a lag. I'm not sure what that means.
Lag on you? I think it's that lag. Like it's that little bit of delay on you on it's like a talkback. Let's see. Paul says, "Be careful, Mike, what you're saying, because I believe the government is listening." Let's see. Yep. We know.
Hi, government.
We know.
Hi.
We already know. Hi. Exactly. Tell what's his name? The CIA head, Gina Haspel. We said hi. Okay, so Let's see. We'll do this one and then we'll move on. We'll get to disclosure. So, okay, this is reported by Zero Hedge, right? They've been blacklisted. They've been taken off, but we can talk about it because we're not linking directly. At least, not. Well, I guess we just did. But anyway, so a Chinese regime deploys 1,600 online trolls to suppress information on the coronavirus. So we talk about this all the time, right? You spend some money, you hire some trolls, or some, let's say misinformation agents is probably the best way to put this. And this is what they've done. So according to the document, the department has hired more than 1,600 trolls known as the 50-cent army in China to regulate internet speech continuously 24/7. So if these would be people on Reddit, these would be people on Twitter, these would be people on Weibo, Weibo, which is a Chinese search engine, and chat, like WeChat is another one. So they're actually out there, and they're disinformation agents, right? They're censoring things. They're reporting people that are actually giving information about the coronavirus inside China. So we talked about the coronavirus in China and the CCP a lot. So I'll just throw this out there and notice this is what's happening. This is what's going on. These things are actually happening out there, and so blah, blah, so on and so forth. I linked it. You guys can check it out. But holy shit, right? Like, so it's not just, George Soros or some people with a bunch of money that are hiring troll armies. There's these state actors that are hiring these disinformation agents. So again, you wonder why we're so confused, and we can pull up the same article from two different sources that say the exact opposite things in the same week. Well, here we are. Here we are. Anything on that, Ash? Before we get to disclosure, anything on that?
I mean, it's not hard. I mean, like literally, you can go on Fiverr and hire a bunch of people off Fiverr for like $5, right, for an hour or whatever. Give everyone the same document, and then they could go somewhere and do a thing on the internet. It's not hard to go on the internet and do a thing. So it's not hard to outsource that and spread that. So if I can think of that, the government's definitely doing it. So like if you go on Reddit, go on Reddit. If look, it's bots. Like you could just have a bunch of millions of bot accounts, upvoting, downvoting. You can control what people think and see. It's already happening.
Yeah, it's out there. It's definitely out there. Okay, I turned you up a little bit, so hopefully that'll fix the audio issues here.
I think it was a lag.
Yeah, sometimes the noise gate picks him up and like cuts him off when he speaks lowly. So just speak loudly and clearly into the microphone. Hopefully we can kill this. Let's kill this.
Okay, I should probably stop drinking then.
Yeah, there you go. Stop drinking. Well, just in between statements, just to just chug quick. Okay, so all right, there we go. So what do you guys think about all this stuff? Like always, we have tons of topics to talk about. We're gonna get to disclosure in just a sec here. If you want to be on the show and you have comments about any of that stuff, the Chinese troll army or the surveillance state of the Ring and Amazon and all this, whatever. If you guys want to talk about whatever, say hi, show feedback, any of that stuff, do call us 702-957-1037. We'll put you right through. We don't screen calls. It'll be like an electronic call screener that says, well, thank you for calling Troubled Minds, and then you just say your first name, where you're calling from, and then we'll put you on the show in a minute or two. So it's as easy as that. That's as easy as that. Join the Discord. Go to troubledminds.org, click the Discord link. You can join the show that way as well. It's a chat and a voice client, and otherwise, let's go. Let's do disclosure. What about disclosure, Ash? What about disclosure?
Well, we got a few comments here. Just real quick, our social credit is going to rocket with trolling and spreading lies, as Sean says. And it's actually true. It's weird that the economy is online, right? So you could troll $1 million. That one YouTuber who sold the bathwater for like $30 a pop. That's an infinite resource.
Well,
she's probably killing it. She's probably making more than any of us.
Just like holy
That's
water,
insane
right?
To me. Huh?
Just like holy water, right?
Oh yeah,
It's an
probably the
infinite
opposite.
I'm just saying. Holy.
It's weird, man.
And unholy water. Yeah, I'm just saying. Infinite resource. Well, anyway.
John says, Trouble Minds drinking game. Do a shot every time Smash says it's not hard.
There you go. I'm taking a shot right now, boys. Taking a shot right now.
You can't tell me the game. I'll kill you. I'll kill you from alcohol poisoning.
Oh, easy.
Say it over and over.
Oh yeah, that's true. That's not right. Don't do that.
But a fun fact. So my roommates and I went and we listened to the 2016 elections, and we didn't know it was going to be as crazy as it was. I mean, it was historically fucking nuts. And everyone in the house picked a word, and then everyone else had to drink to it. And we had to ban a few words. our roommate picked jobs. Oh my God, that was a terrible night.
Yeah, that's a bad
Jobs.
night. That's a bad. I would climate would be a good one too. You'd probably drink yourself sick.
Oh
Maybe
yeah,
you did.
especially the Democratic
Oh yeah.
ones.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right.
Anyway, let's move on.
Let's do it. Let's get to it. So, okay. So what about disclosure? What about it? You're going to start it? You want me to start with the wow signals and this other stuff? What do you think?
I'll do a little intro and then we'll do that article.
Okay. You got it. Go. What about disclosure? Okay. So disclosure, go ahead. You do it.
Okay. All right.
Wait.
Yeah.
Here's the thing.
Tonight we're going to talk about disclosure. So, for the show, and just because I love this stuff, I keep up track of everything related to aliens. I literally would periodically type in alien disclosure every month, and I'd filter it by the month, and I'd check like, is there anything going on? Is there anything going on? And then over the last, I would say, year, it's gone nuts. I mean, there's so much stuff to cover. So I've been gathering information for like the last 3 months, and I wanted to kind of come back and present it to you guys. So we're going to talk about disclosure, right? Is disclosure coming? If it's coming, why? And we're going to try and look at some of the evidence, try and kind of piece the puzzle together, and definitely like to hear from what you guys think, and if you have any input on that. So yeah.
All right. So okay. So disclosure being we all know we've talked about Tom DeLonge ad nauseum and his To the Stars Academy and the rest of that, right? Chris Mellon and who are these guys? Lou Elizondo. I like to call them the Five Guys, right? Because Five Guys is delicious. There's our product plug that we don't get paid for. Just
In-N-Out's better, bro.
Okay, Five Guys is still delicious, but okay, we can argue that all we want. But the thing is that we've talked about this quite a lot on this show because it certainly seems like let's say in the last 10 years, let's say with Ancient Aliens and the rest of this stuff, like the disclosure page is turning. And so I don't know if it's turning in a good way to the next page or it's turning backwards to the page of yesteryear, meaning that this is just more disinformation or if it's this is actually like what's happening. I don't know. I think that's the question. That's the conversation, and that's why we're here talking about it. So that's right. So what do you got? What do you got disclosure wise? What do you got? Let's start with what you got, and then we'll get to the alien signals later.
For sure, sounds good. So I just wanted to point out, like disclosure. Let's talk about UFOs in the mainstream. So I'm just going to bring a few different things that are kind of showing that the main narrative is coming around. So we got if you notice, if you guys watch TED Talks, there's all these different TED Talks about UFOs and aliens and all this kind of stuff. So one of the ones I recommend is Wanted: A Science of UFOs by Alexander Wendt. It's TEDx. In his TEDx talk, he's basically trying to destigmatize UFOs so that the science community can start opening this up. And this kind of corresponds with Bob Lazar saying that we reach our limitations with back engineering the technology. And if you guys should be all familiar with Bob Lazar, he's the one who worked at Area 51 or the S13 or whatever the base is.
S4.
He was assisting in back engineering UFOs. And so this, in his process, he was saying that they would, every once in a while, they'd run into the limitations of what modern technology is. So it almost sounds like the government's kind of like spent at this point, or it's either trying to catch us up, or it's trying to catch society up so it can be helpful in the reverse engineering of this stuff. So is this stuff, are these conferences happening because of the government? We'll kind of have a little more information later. But so some more mainstream kind of news points. If you Google Vice News, they have the gun pilot interview from the UFO videos. They have they have like the Real X-Files. I mean, if you notice, their page is littered with this stuff. I listened to Timcast. He talks about the UFOs. Joe Rogan had Bob Lazar on. Even Grant Wilcock with Ancient Civilizations. And that's some sort of disclosure, right? Because there must have been some sort of civilization that was somewhat advanced. Lots of stuff, and it just feels like it's kind of mounting. Have you had this experience, Mike?
Yeah, definitely. Every time you look at you just search UFO, like you go to YouTube, it's all over the place, right? It's on YouTube, it's on Twitter UFO, it's on Reddit, all over the place. It certainly seems like in the last, definitely, let's say 10 to 15 years for sure, it's been an avalanche. It started kind of as a trickle, and it had that stigma to it. But then I think get everybody makes fun of what's his name, Giorgio Tsoukalos and Ancient Aliens, right? Like there's a lot of stuff that they're off the reservation a little bit, but a lot of things they talk about kind of make you scratch your head and wonder, right? And there's a lot of pseudoscience there, but for whatever you want to say about that series and about Tsoukalos himself and the rest of the guys, like David Wilcox on there often, and they've had Megan Fox, and now, like I said recently, Tucker Carlson. Like there's some mainstream happening with that wasn't there 10 or 12 or 15 years. I mean, what are they on, like season 18 or something? Like they've been around for freaking ever. And so I think eventually we're going to have to, if disclosure comes in an official level, you would have to tip your hat to Tsoukalos and these guys, because I think that maybe they've ushered in the era of disclosure. And whether it's happened or not, like Kelly says, disclosure is already here. And so maybe, right? So maybe it's enough for you at this point, but I think it's not enough for the mainstream. And so the more they kind of creep into it, the more we talk about this stuff, the more we look at it, maybe when does that tip? When does the boat tip? And so I think, I think we owe a lot to them just for pushing the conversation forward, whether you believe that stuff or not. They're probably right a lot of the time. They're probably wrong a lot of the time, like all of us. Absolutely. None of us are always right. But anyway, so I do have that the TED Talk up, the TEDx Columbus with Alexander Wendt. If you guys want to check it out, I did link it. But there's a lot of people talking about this, and I think it's again probably one of the most important things, right? Like we talk about healthcare, we talk about immigration, we talk about like all this stuff politically, but the alien question gets like boiled down to like the last 90 seconds of an interview, like and that's really all you get. That's really all you get officially. Mm-hmm. So okay, go ahead. Carry on, Big Daddy. You got it.
No, thanks. Those are very good points. I was in a hotel one night, and I was up late and I couldn't sleep, and I put on Ancient Aliens. And they were talking about like the Anunnaki, and I'm like, what the hell? This is on like mainstream TV. Like there's some old person sitting around watching this right now, and it's good. It's like pushing the narrative. It's catching people up. It's expanding people's like knowledge sets, and I've noticed a tremendous shift. It's not 100%, but if I bring up aliens, it's not as weird as it used to be. I think people are becoming acclimated, and so we'll touch on it later. Is the force behind this? So let's move on. Even the Vatican is in on the fun. So if we go to soulass.com.
Before we get to that, I got those clips. You want to start with those clips with Senator Blumenthal, or do you want to do the Vatican first? We got all those audio clips to play.
Oh yeah, we'll get back to it.
Okay, go ahead.
We're getting up to it. We're almost there.
Okay, Vatican, go. I got the article up.
Yeah, so we'll just gloss over this. So the Vatican prepares. So okay, is disclosure coming? Is this right around the corner? Like, you guys all have ideas, and you're like pretty sure, but come on, you want to see the alien on freaking TV, and is disclosure coming? Is it like around the corner? So I'd like to make the argument that it is. So the Vatican, here you go, got the Vatican prepares for conference on extraterrestrial life. So a conference with an extraordinary theme will be held on the Vatican on February 12th. So this is an older article. We should probably follow up and see what happened there, but so the universe and possible encounters with other civilizations. So, you guys can take a look at this. I just want to kind of gloss over it and make it a data point. But look, like we have all these mainstream religions, and they're different. They're realities. They're pockets of reality, and they have to take aliens into consideration when that comes. You can't just shove this onto people and expect them to be okay with it. If you have a religion and this is what you believe, people have to understand that this can be accepted in before you just drop it, and they'll just see demons in the air and this and that. And maybe aliens are demons from an ancient past, and it's different language, whatever. It doesn't matter. Like, people need to kind of become acclimated to this, and just the fact that the Vatican clearly knows something, right?
Just like
Yeah.
the governments know something, yeah. Like they're
Yeah.
they're their own government basically. So they're privy to that information, and they have the Vatican Library that the other governments aren't privy to. So maybe they know more. put it in that context.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Maybe, yeah, maybe they do know more. Yeah,
We
crazy.
should do a
stuff.
live stream from the Vatican basement.
Yeah,
Our
right.
last stream.
Yeah, exactly. Disappear forever. This is the last Troubled Minds episode ever. We're knocking on the Vatican door.
Do you want to grab some comments? There's some good ones here.
Yeah. Do it. You're looking at them. I got the clips ready to go. So go ahead and grab some comments.
All right, sounds good. So Kurt says we think three-dimensionally. That technology is four-dimensional. True. Like, who's to say? There's that. There, we were talking about this earlier. Remote viewing. Maybe there's more, right? So great comment. Nikki says the YouTube Joe Rogan and Bob Lazar interviews covers so much. What a great interview. Bob Lazar nailed it. He was really articulate, really reasonable. He was even like nervous, and I saw people who literally do readings of people, and they did readings on Bob Lazar, and they were all positive, and there was so much stuff dwelled up by that I almost feel like the Area 51 raid was the counter to their stuff, right? So let's see some more comments here. Good, Chris. Good comment about the about theories and technology. Who's to say what it's going to be? Paul, more like people waking up. Yeah, waking up to what's going on here, looking around. Kurt, yeah, there's technology our government has that they can't even comprehend. Trump just mentioned that. He literally just said, we have stuff you wouldn't even believe. And that guy can't keep a secret. If he knows anything, I'd be surprised. We don't know it already.
He's already tweeted it.
Yeah, so it's a great comments here. The Vatican, the first and only Big Brother. Good comment, Sean. The Knight Templars from Thomas. Disclosure or not, we would still kill each other. If they have the technology to be hoarded for the elite, yeah, there's always the human element, right, to this kind of stuff, and it is scary. Let's hope the aliens are more benevolent than us. Great comments. Thanks, guys, for commenting.
Yeah, good stuff. Let me finish Thomas's there. He says the Knight Templars have been a breakaway civilization since the early 1200s, and so they're there you go, breakaway civilization. There's what's his name? What's the guy?
I'm copying that. I'm turning that into a show idea.
That's really good. But what's the guy's name? Alex Jones. Breakaway civilization. So I wonder if he's ever talked about the Knights Templar. Okay, so anyway, we'll get to that another time. We digress. Great comments, guys. Appreciate that. Again, if you want to be part of the show, comments are good, but you can actually be on the show with your voice. Hopefully, in a free society, our voice, we still have our voice. But if you want to have it here on Troubled Minds, it's free. It's 702-957-1037. We don't require your vote. We're not asking you to caucus for us. We're not doing any of that. You get to call in, you get to tell us what you think, and you can even drop some F-bombs or whatever you want, because we say what we want. Because in this country, where we're streaming from right now, we still have that ability. We can say what we want. Yep. We can think what we want. And we think it should be celebrated, and that's why we do this live, and we'd like to include you. So one more time, 702-957-1037, America. Join the Discord. Go to troubledminds.org. You can join the Discord there and be on the show that way as well. So there you are. We'll watch the phone lines, but all right, let's play some of these clips. So okay, so we have the Bob Lazar interviews. We've got Ancient Aliens been happening for 15-ish years or something. They're on season 18 or something ridiculous like that, right? It's been a long ass time. There's a lot of information. We got Tom DeLonge. There's a lot of actual things coming out where it seems like, if this isn't actually, to me, it seems suspicious. Just my opinion that. It's happening the way it's happening. But if this is actually disclosure and they're kind of tipping the boat in that direction, then maybe we have some other additional information. And we got some clips here to play. But anything to add on to that before we move on to clips there, or maybe introduce the clip?
Like let's jump around a little bit. Let's not just beat one dead horse to death and throw it off a cliff. Let's get some meat. Let's talk about Steve Bassett.
Oh, Steve Bassett. All right. So Steve Bassett is who?
Steve Bassett is the first political lobbyist for aliens and UFOs and all that kind of weird stuff. And so he's been doing it for a while. He was kind of like self-described bum. He didn't have a job, and he just wanted to do something with his life. It's kind of like a a little bit like a hippie. He was almost sounding like, and so he's been kind of in Washington polling and doing stuff, and he was involved with the Hillary campaign for pushing for disclosure. So let's listen to him and what he says about disclosure and if it's around the corner and whatnot. So let's play the first clip, the 4 minutes in.
All right, you got it. So this is Steve Bassett, the first UFO lobbyist. Here we go, action.
This is good stuff.
Tom DeLonge posted on his Facebook page that they've been having meetings in Hollywood with big level people. There's like a couple docs, movies in the works, and they've even had meetings on the Hill with potential committee members or committee members about potential hearings. This has all been behind the scenes while they're watching, the storm go on. And so what I tell people now, and I thought I'd never say this in my lifetime, is that right now, the military intelligence complex is leading the disclosure movement. How about that?
The military intelligence complex is leading the disclosure movement, he says. How about that? How about that? That's that would be Tom DeLonge, right? That would be so they've partnered to make this happen. So he's basically insinuating that's the case, right? By kind of saying that this is coming out, right? This is their coming out party of ufology, of aliens, of whatever it is, whatever this phenomena happens to be. This is the coming out party, sort of. He says, and he believes that. That's crazy. That's crazy.
That's crazy, huh?
Yeah, definitely. So I don't know much about this Steve Bassett guy. I do know there's other UFO lobbyists after the fact, like kind of the new school, but apparently this guy's the OG. So definitely good stuff. And he thinks that the government is kind of bringing it, and they're trying to tell us in subtle drip ways. So yeah. There's
well, let's find out how this kind of came to be. Let's actually play the third clip. Let's learn more about this.
Okay. Third clip.
The third clip. We'll come back to the
third. All right, we go. Let's play clip number 3. Action.
It's raw reformism. It is about changing the path America is on and the globe is on before it's too late. And this is the best thing going right now.
I'll slip one more question because I think it's important, especially for...
I'm an idiot. That was 4. Let's play the third clip. Let's play the one Ash actually asked for. All right, action.
It's raw reformism. It is about...
Wait, didn't I just play that? Is that the right one? That's not the right one? Holy shit. I'm a mess. I'm a mess right now. Wait, 1, 2, 3. I guess that was it.
It's okay. Technical difficulties.
Yeah, I guess I can't count. 1, 2, 3.
Let's just play the second one.
There you go.
We'll just go through them.
Let's go through.
It's fine. We got this.
We'll go through.
I got the timestamps.
All right, we'll go through them in order. All right, so we have this. This is taken from a YouTube video, so we'll link this YouTube video so you guys can check it out. But here we go. So yeah, you see what happens when you take me out of order 1, 2, 3, 4. I can do that. When you go 1, 3, 2, 4, holy shit, the entire thing burns down.
Noted.
Let's go
with the whole show. You know what? Just turn it off.
Just turn it off.
We're done.
Yeah, no, we're not. All right, let's go. Let's go with number 2. Here we go. And action.
The point is that I decided I wanted to make a difference. I wanted to do something. I had an activist mentality, and I had an interest in this subject. And at the time, things were starting to get very interesting. Yeah. And particularly, I was impressed by John Mack's book, Abduction. I read that. Yeah. I'd read Hopkins, but I'm saying, wow, Harvard professors are getting into this now and writing books and holding symposiums at Harvard and MIT. This is interesting. So I want to get in. How would I get involved? Well, I said, Mack is doing something really extraordinary. Volunteer for him. Volunteer for his organization. And I got lucky. I talked my way in. And so I came in this great door. I spent 4 months there, and now I'm on fire. Yeah. And then I decided, okay, what do I want to do? And what I figured out, I want to address the politics of this. I can live in Washington. I've got a place to stay. I know Washington. I've been there before. I went down there and set up Paradigm Research Group to become a political activist to engage this issue because this issue is the most important in the world, and the potential impact is almost uncalculable. How many activists get that opportunity? And one of the reasons I got that opportunity is because the government had embargoed the damn thing for all those years. It ridiculed it, made it just untouchable, radioactive, but I didn't care.
But I didn't care because I'm a gangster. I didn't care. Yeah, that's good stuff there. So he was in Washington. He was like Ash said, he just a self-described bum, but he decided to maybe push the issue here, and I think that's good, right? Imagine he's one dude. he's pushing the issue, right? And he's out there learning stuff. So you can tell us more about Steve Bassett. Actually, I'm going to step away for just 90 seconds. You got the floor. Be right back, Ash.
Oh, okay, I got it. Well, yeah. So Steve Bassett, it's always tough when there's no one else there, right? When you're the first and only person for a cause. So anyone who kind of is in the trenches for a long period of time by themselves, he's been in the background. He's been making moves for years with no traction, and he hopefully he'll be written in the history books, right? He's doing us a great service, and he's right. Like, I can't think of anything more important than are we alone in the universe? I mean, it's the single greatest thing that humanity can face currently. It's just really exciting, I'm going to go ahead and read some comments here. Let's see here. Discovery Channel found. Yeah, there's some really interesting things about other stuff. So let's see. So yeah, Kurt says, "Oh yeah, 100%. Many stories have been scrubbed from the net. All kinds of things about the supernatural. Many stories from 10, 15 years ago gone. I wish I knew what you were talking about exactly. Right? I remember reading things and seeing things that I can't find anymore, and it's disturbing. And typically when that's the case, that's the good shit, right? Like, they leave this stuff up that you don't care about, that's not interesting, or you don't, it's not going to actually steer the populace in the wrong.
I'm back, by the way.
Real stuff that kind of blimps up and goes away. At least that would be my guess. So some more comments here. Noah's Ark on Mount Agaric gone. Interesting, Kurt. Let's see here. Chris says, does anyone know of the dragon molecule? It can soak up free radicals, decreasing genetic breakdown and increase the lifespan by 700 years. No, I've never heard of that. That's pretty nuts. Kelly says, Dr. Greer had the best disclosure meeting with Congress members. Yeah, he had like a whole panel. It's pretty interesting. And Kelly claims, but never seen a lot about it. Seen it years ago. Yeah, it's that's really fascinating. And Greer is also another person who's done a tremendous amount of work. Welcome back, Mike.
Thank you. We have a phone call we're going to take here in just a sec, but so Stephen Greer, we'll get to him at some point. Hopefully, again, we're trying to increase the reach, right? Like every week we're growing just a little bit, which is good stuff. Please keep sharing. Please keep doing all that stuff. As our reach continues to grow, we're able to get these guys on. They notice us, right? Once they notice us, then they want to be on the show because they know a lot of you guys, all of us are seeing this, and we'll be able to talk about it. So hopefully we'll get Stephen Greer and these guys on the show. Eventually, if it doesn't happen soon, that'd be amazing, right? If it doesn't happen soon, it'll happen later than sooner, but that's fine. We're okay with that. We're hopefully having a good conversation in the meantime, and we know we are because you guys are giving us fantastic comments. So let's take this phone call, and then we'll move on to some more disclosure here. All right, let's see. You are on Troubled Minds with Mike and Ash. Paul from New Hampshire. How you doing, my man? What's going on tonight?
Hey guys, what's going on, man? Ain't nothing. I'm kind of in a shitty mood, but I felt better when I got home. Saw you guys were on. It's been a while, so good to hear from you. I love your conversation too. You're kind of nailing it on the head, but what you're forgetting is there's guys out there like me that have been doing this for a long time. And if you really want to look at disclosure and what's happening, and I'd love for you guys to ask me questions about this because I really do know a lot. I spent my whole lifetime, and I'm 52, and I mean my whole lifetime, dealing with this shit since I was 4 years old, saw what happened back in the 50s and 60s and 70s, and this has been an ongoing battle with humanity about disclosure. Well, with that being said, it's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. I kind
you don't think so?
Yeah, I kind of agree.
Not a lifetime.
All right, let me tell you this.
It's funny. Ash was talking about. Go ahead. Yeah. Go ahead.
Let me tell you this real quick. Okay, so as you know, this is an open show. So if you want to have like a whole segment, man, where you're on as like a guest for the whole damn show, and you want us to ask you questions and pick your brain about disclosure, we can do that.
I would love to do that.
We can do it.
That would be fun. Yeah,
we
that would
can
be
do
great.
Done deal. Let's do it.
Mike. So you know how to get a hold of me, or call me. I'll give you my number, whatever. Put me on the phone. We'll talk afterwards and set that up. But yes,
Okay. So
I do, and I have
to...
studied this a long time, and I'd love to do that. I love to do a Q&A with you guys because it helps me out. I'll start babbling about this shit. You know what I mean?
Like we do.
Yeah, it's
like we do.
I mean, you know what? I can hear Ash talking about these politicians that are coming. Listen, this has been ongoing over and over and over and over again. And I know them all. This is not the first guy that's come forward and said, "Oh, I'm going to tell you." Listen, man, this has been ongoing for 50 frickin' years. And it's like all the evidence is there. It's just, we've been dumbed down. I don't know. I don't understand. I remember back in the day when I started doing this, and I'm crazy, okay? And I got labeled crazy, and they tried to make me look crazy, and you know what happened? They shot themselves in the foot because they ain't crazy. And, I brought evidence. And then all of a sudden you become, like you guys talking about Sukala, love the guy. He's crazy, freaking nut, but you know what? He does a great job, and he's bringing evidence. He asks the question. Here's what I have to show you. Figure it out for yourself. Apparently people need to be hand-fed this crap by a politician, which, as they've tried that too. It doesn't work. Like I said, babble.
Yeah, you're good. Go ahead, Ash. Go ahead, Ash. I know you got some stuff to say about this. And you can talk to the callers now.
It is kind of weird how people are resistant, right? Like, I had an argument with a friend the other day. I was like, he's like, well, there's no evidence for aliens or UFOs. I'm like, there's tons of evidence. But short of an alien coming down and kicking you on the mouth, like you could say it's CGI, you could say it's footage, you could say that person's crazy. You can discredit everything in oblivion. People don't want to.
Let me interrupt you for a second there, Ash. Keep going though with this because you're right on the path. But the problem is that it's CGI. That was a disinformation campaign. Okay, and I've watched it. I can tell you the difference.
Oh yeah, I bet. So I'd like to. I'm definitely excited to pick your brain and see the kind of trends because, back in the day, Reagan was going to disclose, right? And then he got.
He never really wanted a disclosure. He used it as a means to get people's attention because it was well known what was going on. You had Mexico City, you had Gulf Breeze, Florida, you had the Phoenix Lights, and all these things happening right after, and before that, it even gets deeper than that. But he set it up because they already knew they were here. Okay, they had already made, you guys have talked about Eisenhower before. I believe we had a chat about that. And, it's just, that's old news. And you said it, Ash, earlier. They keep, giving you this stuff that's not that important. It's old news. My dad, before he passed away, God rest his soul, said, Paulie, I'm sick of watching this stuff on TV because it's the same old shit. When are they going to come up with something new? And, the new stuff has come out. But it gets flooded with this information. Nobody knows, okay? You know who knows about the Navy footage is us. They still keep posting this crap on Facebook over and over and over again to drive traffic next to the 10,000 fake UFO videos. And nobody really knows that it's on. It was on Tucker and Carlson. They didn't talk about it. They showed it an interview with Fravor, the pilot. And, do people know about the Nimitz encounter videos that are out there, the documentaries? They don't, because there's so much crap that they're sitting at home watching reruns of Friends.
Yeah, you know what I think? Here's the problem with that. Is that this is why I say, and I kind of agree with you, the disclosure will never happen, like actual official disclosure, because at the same time you have one hand.
It's already happened, Mike. It's happened.
To people with a brain, it's happened, right? And I don't mean that in a negative way to everybody else who doesn't believe it. But I mean, like if you look at the documents and the evidence, it seems like it has, except for the mainstream, it still has not. But here's the problem: you have one hand trying to usher in information and try and teach us that it is happened. Right? One hand trying to say that this is, let's say the Tom DeLonge crew, whatever you want to say about them, we've spoke negatively about them because of some of the information they've put out, right? And some of the inconsistencies. It's suspicious. But then on the other hand, you have like an entire different disinformation campaign that seems to be undermining their disclosure effort, like in the same damn thing. And so you have, like, what do you do with both?
Yeah, and absolutely. And I'm a strong believer too that some of these guys that are doing this also know that, and so they're making the best of it to reap the rewards. If you know how to keep your nose clean, say what the media wants you to say without actually saying it. Unlike me, I've had that problem. I'm going to tell you, go fuck yourself. This is the truth. And, because of that, I've been paid $500 an hour to speak at colleges. But on the flip side of that, I'm not going to be on mass media because I'm not going to play your game. I'm not going to sell my soul. I'm not going to sit there and tell you, oh, that fake UFO video is real, which is what some of these guys are doing to get ahead in it.
And FYI, including, just to shoehorn in there real fast, To the Stars Academy has actually pointed to some known fake shit and said this is real. And so that's what I mean. They're undermining themselves in many cases. And so again, how do you take it seriously?
Because they know that there's money to be made here. This has become okay. It's just like selling a book about vampires. How many books can you make about vampires? Well, let's face it. If you're smart, we don't believe in vampires or even Bigfoot for that matter. As a matter of fact, if we do have any evidence of Bigfoot, it's that it's an alien, because it's the only thing that really makes sense. Because I'm telling you, with the technology we have today, if you can't find a fucking Bigfoot, well, there's something wrong with you. And I got plenty of UFO footage. So, what's going on?
Yeah, exactly.
Well, no, those are some good points, and I think you're right. There's been kind of this cycle of bullshit. Like they'll release some things, and then they release all this propaganda on top of it. So it's hard to discern what the truth is, and you can't like go
what's real and kind of course not. No.
Absolutely.
But funnily enough, Ash, it really isn't that hard. That's the problem I have with it. And again, to say what Mike said earlier, I'm not calling anybody stupid here, but if you can't figure out the difference, you really need to study it and think about this, because if that's what you want, because I got to tell you, I watch all the disinformation, and it's amazing to see how many people suck it in and look at a video and can't tell that it's a drone or it's fake or there's music in the background and it's a stick flying by a window, and they're all like, oh my God, that's so cool. Or like, Travel Channel putting up pictures of CGI crap. So
let me ask you this.
I've seen real UFOs. And again, not, to put anybody down, but, if you want to see them, you got to want to see them. Number one, you got to believe, I think. I don't know, you guys obviously do this for a reason. And I figured out maybe you've seen it too. You figured it out. But you have to believe before it actually comes to you. And then you'll be able to, I think, see the fake from the real. It's just, we're fed so much fake bullshit that people have just been dumbed down.
Yeah, let me cut in real quick. Hold on. So what you're saying is you have to have a mind open. You have to be receptive to it.
Oh,
maybe not instantly believe.
And listen,
maybe not instantly. Hold on.
I said this 20 years ago. The mind is like a parachute. If it's not open, it doesn't work. And I've been quoted over the last 20 years by other UFO channels, by the way. And, and I started that. And it came from an old sales pitch I learned when I was, 18, 20 years old working in Chicago. And, and I was a pretty good, damn good salesperson.
I believe you. You know why? Because you've actually gone through 3 objections of mine in the last 90 seconds. You're a great salesperson. That's a sales technique. You don't hear the first no. Ash has a question for you though. Go ahead, Ash.
Yeah, absolutely.
Thanks, Mike. Yeah. So, in your experience, and then we got to move on. We have a lot more to cover. But where do you think this is going? Where do you think the government is currently with the aliens? Are they working with the aliens? Are they the aliens? Have they been converted? I have this whole thing about all the different possibilities.
Okay. We'll cover, again, this is all theory, and I'm kind of on the fence with that because it's all theory. I do know for one fact that, aliens control this planet. They are the ones that control this planet. And because of that, they control the governments and whatnot. Are they in cahoots? I'm on the fence with that. They possibly could be, but I don't think it's anything that you want to hear. And this is what I've heard through years of study, is that if you're the president, you get an office and say, I want to know the stuff about the aliens. They say you don't want to know, because what I feel happened, and through experience, is that the aliens came here, they let them know around the 50s, and it was right after they invented the atomic bomb, that, look, if you guys are going to play with fire, well, we're going to play back. And by the way, we can wipe you out in an instant. And by the way, then they figured out that they were doing mass abductions. Yes, and so they said, this is what we're going to do, or we're going to wipe you out. And you have no choice, because if and this is the thing, this fake alien invasion and this, and, we're going to be invaded. It's not going to, it already happened. Okay, they will put us here. You've been talking about ancient aliens. All the evidence is there. It all lines up, and it all makes sense too if you really look at it all.
Definitely. All right, Paul. Check it out.
That's my theory. All right, yeah, guys. Yeah.
All right, check it out. Real quick.
That's a good theory. That makes a lot of sense.
Definitely. All right, so we got to move on. So real quick, Paul, go ahead and plug your channel there. He's got a great YouTube channel, guys. Check it out.
Yeah, check me out. I'm on YouTube, New Hampshire UFO Hunter. New Hampshire UFO Hunter on YouTube and Facebook. I got a Facebook page. I'm trying to build up my shit. I just kind of put a few videos, but it's all real UFO footage that I took in the last 20 years and recently. And, I really like to get it going. I need people to follow me, though. I'm not, it's just, I kind of got out of it. But a friend said, hey, you need to do this because this is what's going on. And like I said, it's not going to happen. We're not going to wake up tomorrow and get free energy, but I'm doing it for the people that understand and believe and, need that evidence to show your friend. So,
yeah, definitely.
Thanks for letting me plug my show, guys. Yeah, give me a call. Let's do a Q&A one night. That'd be fun.
Okay, you got it, my man. I know where to find you, and thanks for the call. That's Paul from New Hampshire, and New Hampshire UFO Hunter on YouTube. Check him out, guys. Definitely good stuff, and we'll have him on the show at some point. I will contact you. If you haven't, Paul, join the Discord, troubleminds.org. Click the Discord link, get in there, and we can arrange it that way. We can share links and stuff. If not, troublemindsradio@gmail, or I'll come find you on YouTube, either way. But yeah, definitely.
Awesome.
Smart guy, lots of information. He's been calling for quite a while now. So this is the type of thing, right? This is why we do this, because we get smart people calling and talking about their experiences. And there's some people who've had actual abduction experiences, right? Actual visitations. And so these are the types of things. Like, you're not going to find this on Fox News. They won't talk about this. But guess what? We will. You have a platform here. So that's why we do it. We're not going to ridicule you. Whatever you want to say, we want to hear it. And that's it. So one more time, just like Paul did, 702-957-1037. Give us a call. We'll put you on the show. And we're going to keep on trucking, talking about disclosure here. And troubleminds.org, you can find the phone number and join the Discord. And there we go, et cetera, so on. So thanks again, Paul. And
cool.
Let's keep on going with disclosure. What you got there, Ash?
Sounds good. Yeah, Paul. Very good points on Paul. Just a quick comment on that. He's right. There's been these cyclical. Oh, disclosure? It's around the corner, and I think the UFO community is kind of, or just people in general who follow it. You don't have to say that term, but it's kind of lost hope, right? But I would like to argue that this time is different. Whether the false flag is coming, or so let's talk about some of the reasons, right? So let's go. I'm gonna go through my list, and let me hear what you guys what you guys think it is. So I kind of like took all the theories of why disclosure's around the corner, why it would disclose, and we'll kind of go through. He just mentioned one of the good ones is that that aliens basically came here and they're like, look, we run shit, so you're gonna do what we say, and that's a very good possibility. So if you think that's the case, let me know. So here's some of the other ones, right? Aliens have co-opted our government, right? Have aliens taken over? So I don't know if you guys have listened to Bill Cooper, but Bill Cooper, and this is just like what he was saying, says that aliens basically have taken over the underground bunkers and they call the shots, like they're in charge. I don't know if you guys heard about that, but let's blow through a few more of these. The aliens are, through the hybridization, they're looking to co-opt the people. They're looking to kind of take over the populace overtly, and that the government is looking for our help to fight them. They're trying to bring the mainstream in. So, Tom DeLonge has alluded to this, right? He said, like, there's some secrets we shouldn't have, and that he says there's some things that the people should not know, and that the government are just people like you and me, and they're just trying to get through it. Another reason is that the government is preparing for a false flag, right? So for their New World Order, and this is like the Warner von Braun was part of the Nazi program, and that through paperclip. We mentioned this earlier, and on his deathbed confession, he said there will be a fake alien invasion. So typical false flag practice. Is there a secret space program in that aliens are just made up, right? They're just making it up. We're in a space war against China. John Podesta's emails exposed that to be true. There's some sort of space race heating up, and that they just want funding, right? And that kind of also falls in line with the false flag, getting more money. And then the last one, which is I would lean toward normally, but that the government doesn't really know what the hell this is. Like they do understand it to some degree, but they don't have a handle on it, and that the aliens have people completely out of the loop. And they're looking to try and catch up the population to kind of aid them in this. So yeah, what do you think, Mike? Do you have a popular choice here?
I don't think there's I think given all of the choices, like we're literally playing roll the dice. I don't know. That's the problem, right? So you don't know. Like we've talked about Richard Doty in the past, and this is a basically, in my opinion, like a grotesque and obvious disinformation agent, right? And so how many of those people are that? You can't know, right? So think about it this way. If let's say, okay, for instance, and I'm going to use us as an example. What if Ash and I are on the payroll of the government, right? Let's say the CIA contacted me 10 months ago, and they were like, hey, check this out. We want you to kind of push this. You know what I mean? That's not the case, clearly, right, because we'd have commercials and be, you know what I mean? Like we wouldn't be shadow banned. But this is the type of thing you never know. Or let's say China was like, hey, we're going to send you bags of cash. We want you to not talk about the coronavirus anymore or shit on China anymore. You know what I mean? These are the types of things you never really know, because if you can't see where like who's funding people, who's actually like propping people up, who's actually, telling them what, that's the point. I don't know. I think we're all rolling the dice and guessing here because we don't know. Like they say, Donald Trump released your tax returns. Well, if you don't like it, like change the tax code, right? That's my opinion. Because, the rich guys get away with no taxes. Bezos is not paying taxes, right? But my point is, if you want to find out who's funding whoever is out there doing these conferences, the Wilcox or the Goods or whoever these guys are, whoever these people are, right? Like you kind of got to know where the money's coming from, don't you? And so if you don't, you can't really write them off as disinformation agents, but you can't really assume they're not either, or assume they are.
Right.
I mean, you're caught in between. I don't know. Like I said, that's the point of the show, to talk about this, to parse the data, to actually, what do you think? What do we think? How do we think as a collective? What seems suspicious? What doesn't? I mean, yeah, I don't know. It's there's a lot, and it's funny. The more we do these shows, and the more you learn about it, the more you kind of don't know. It's bizarre, right? It's bizarre. It's like they're dumping information on you, trying to confuse you. So yeah, I don't know. I don't have an angle there other than I don't know, man. I don't know.
Right?
Save me, Ash. Save me from myself. Yeah.
More information from some of these. Stephen Bassett. So it's the 1550.
Oh, yeah, sure. You're cutting out. Like, is there? I think what's happening is you have a noise gate on your Discord, or you're not really close to the mic. Like so it's not coming to my ears, and it's not going out to the stream. So that's what that in and out is. It's like
okay.
If you can kill your noise gate on Discord, that'll probably do it. But yeah, whatever you were just saying, there was cutting in and out, so we couldn't really catch what you said. But what's up, Tam?
Yeah, sorry about that, guys.
You're good. See, loud and clear.
Is that better?
Perfect. Loud and clear. Not even a single.
Awesome.
Yeah, go for it. All right, so finish. Reiterate what you just said, because we missed most of that, and then we'll move on.
Got you. This is a live show, guys. We're always tweaking the audio. Eventually, we'll have it perfect. You know what I mean? We'll sound sexy. It'll be fantastic. Well, maybe we won't sound sexy, but
speak for yourself.
Mike.
It's happening again. It's happening again. I know what's going on with your thing there.
I think he's got a lot to say. He's kind of a guy in the know, at least, of some of the wheels turning, and he's been kind of right so far. So let's look at the video, the timestamp, because I don't think the clips.
Wait, which video? That's why I made the clips. That's why I made the clips, man. All right, which video? Which video are we looking at?
The one I just sent to you in Discord.
Okay, got it. Thank you. Let's see. All right.
The timestamp's the 1533 to 1555.
I see. Okay. Wait. I've got that clip. All right. Anyways,
You got
whatever.
it? All right.
Yeah, of course I do. Come on, man. Who are you dealing with here? All right. Yeah, all right.
Professional. Sorry.
Yeah. Pro. All right. Here we go. All right. So we're gonna play this clip. It's 1530. So what would that be? That would be the Stephen Greer number 4, right? Number 3. Number 4.
Stephen Bassett.
Stephen Bassett. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Stephen Bassett number. This is the Hillary. Okay. Let's play this. Action.
It's raw reformism. It is about changing the path America is on and the globe is on before it's too late. And this is the best thing going right now.
I'll slip one more question because I think it's important, especially for the new wave of energy and the generations coming through. Have you seen a huge change in like a consciousness movement, if you like? Used to be lots of facts and figures at these UF conferences, but I'm here at Contact. Hell of a lot of people talking about consciousness and we're going to make
that's not it.
with this kind of seed.
Oh, dear God. That's not it. All right, let me find it then. Let me pull this up. I see you there, Maddie, on YouTube. Thanks for showing up. I didn't shout you out in a proper, timely manner, but hey, better late than never. All right, let me pull this up. I'm pretty sure I got all of this. Hold on one sec. I'll find it.
No problem. Yeah, so basically, this, if you guys are just joining us, if you're missing out, Steve Bassett is a politician, basically a lobbyist for Washington, and he talks about hold on one sec. Let me mute this. Okay, so he talks about lobbying Washington on behalf of like UFO and alien information, and so this next clip, he's going to be talking about kind of where it was going. I think we've played this on the show in the past, but it's super relevant with alien disclosure. And he was part of Hillary's campaign, and yeah, so this is.
All right.
Did you get it?
Yep, I got it. Let's play it. Here we go. And action.
But the president, they're not going to go to the president and try to force it. The president has to come to them, and the president has come to them in the past, and they told him to go pound sand. This is different because she's going to arrive at their door with the media behind her, articles in play, the American people excited. That's how it would have happened. And I think it would have been mutual and very positive and constructive for us.
I mean, a lot of my friends are skeptics, and they're going to be listening to this now, and they're going to say, okay, you're talking about ET disclosure, why doesn't ET just turn up above the major cities?
You have to ask them. They haven't.
Free will, maybe, I don't know.
Who knows? I don't know. You have to ask them. I know that it's far better for us to disclose in an orderly fashion from our governments.
Of our own destinies, haven't we?
Well, it's going to be far less disruptive.
Okay, did you catch that? He said the question to him was, why have they not just landed on the White House lawn and been like, "What's up? We're here." Right, knowing they'd get media coverage for days, forever, and that would be a wrap. And he says, I don't know. He would have to ask them. He doesn't know what their agenda is. He doesn't know what they want specifically, right? It's kind of what this guy's saying. Am I right there?
Yeah, no, and he doesn't really know. But notice he was talking about Hillary, and basically Hillary was going to be the disclosure president. He was inside the campaign. She wanted to disclose. Bill wanted to disclose during his campaign. This is what Steve's saying, right? He wanted to disclose, be the one to disclose, and he was the president who was told to go pound sand. He's the example. Bill Clinton. He was told he was not need to know, but at this point they had created enough coverage that they would basically blackmail. The DOJ is the one who really had the information that he mentioned, blackmail them to come out and say, look, we're going to come out. You better come with us. And so he says that Steve claims that there was this whole initiative started by the insiders to not look stupid when Hillary caught them with their pants down. But as you know, it didn't really work out in the election. And now we're in this kind of awkward place.
Screw off Russia. Get out of here, Russia. No, yeah. And I think that's the problem here, right? It's like, but so this is after the fact. So you like, this would be, to me, a lot more relevant if he was talking about this before, right? Before this actually went down, before the election went down, before it was like sour grapes, before it was any of that, right? But this is after the election, right? Pretty sure.
Yeah. No. Wait. Yeah. He's reflecting. Yeah, and he goes on to say that with the media the way things are, people backed off. Tom DeLonge is still entities to try to open up. So he was saying that movies coming up that were good, disclosure, they're kind of dripping. Um, some more Cameron. I don't know if
You're cutting in and out, man. I don't know if it's your internet or if it's your mic there, but yeah, you're cutting in and out.
was that everything I just said?
Just the last half basically. You went literally silent for like the last maybe 3, 4, 5 seconds. So I'm not sure.
Really?
I'm not sure. Yeah. I'm not sure what's going on there. If it's an internet issue or if it's your microphone or whatever. But yeah. Okay. So one more time. Go ahead and ask the question.
Yes.
You had a question for me. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah, I was saying that I'm trying to remember what the second half was. Yeah, so are you familiar with him?
Yeah, I don't know. You just cut out again. You're cutting out. I don't know what's going on. I have no idea what's happening there, man. You got the tap the mic. Do this. Do the
1 2 1 2.
Tap it. Let's do some audio. Mic check 1 2. Just tap it. Tap the mic like this. Hear it? Bing 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 bing. Just keep tapping it. I'll be able to tell you what's going on with my discerned audio here. Keep tapping. All right. Excuse us while we mic check here. 1 2. Keep tapping. Yeah. See, no, there's something going on. It's either like your cord, like a hardware thing, or it's like the internet that's because look, when I tap, it's like it's solid and it just goes and it's steady. When you tap, it goes kind of like high and low and then flubs out and then anyway. So there's some kind of hardware software going on. Something. Anyway, so all right. So disclosure is what we're on. What we're talking about here. So this individual, what's this guy's name? Steve Bassett. So he's saying that we have some serious issues here with he doesn't know. So he says that the best thing for the government to do at this point is to actually disclose, just basically get the information out there. Like, here's what we know and just drop it, right? That's what he's saying. And then so the reporter asked him the question in this last clip, like, hey, so why haven't the aliens just showed up and said, what's up, we're here? And he's like, I don't know. He's like, we don't know that, basically, from the insider perspective, but you'd have to ask them. Like, we don't know what they want. We don't know why they haven't just, like, obviously showed up like they did in Independence Day, the movie, where they're, like, hovering over every major city in the world, because that would be, worldwide news, right? You can't swamp gas that away, can you? If they're going to do that. but I mean, like so basically, here's another bizarre thing I saw. And I was just, like as always, we peruse the news and the UFO stuff and see what's going on. But last night I was like, all right, what are we going to do with the show tomorrow? What's new and pertinent? But some information came out about the Phoenix Lights. If everybody remembers this was, several years back, the Phoenix Lights. There was that huge, gigantic, like V-shaped craft. It was silent, and the hundreds or thousands of people even saw this thing. And so there's actually a family that came forward and said that as they were out on their lawn, I'll find the source for this. So we'll drop it in the links. I don't have it right now because I didn't really plan on talking about it, but I saw it last night and thought, holy shit, this is crazy. That they were watching this huge, gigantic ship float from away from them towards them. It was coming towards them. And so they were standing there kind of transfixed, and the father of the family was actually an airline pilot. And so he was extremely familiar with how terrestrial craft fly, and he even said that it was large enough for him to land his 747 on. Like, that's how big this damn thing was. And so they're standing there on the lawn, right? So we have an aviation expert, and he's standing there on the lawn with his family, and they're like mouth open, agape, just staring at whatever the hell is coming towards them. And he said that there was this sense of like an empathic communication, like telepathy, that came into their mind of, we're not a threat. This is only a demonstration. We're not here to harm anybody. Like, that was like the sentiment that they got standing there watching this Phoenix Lights thing come. Anyway, like, this is brand new. It just hit, I don't know. Like, I don't have the sources with me right this second because, this was last night and I was trying to put it together. It didn't turn out that we were going to talk about that, but I think right now it's a little relevant that talking about what they want or what they don't want. So they basically can create, if they're here, let's say, given they're here, they can create a spectacle if they want. And then this individual and his family have said that they received some sort of telepathic communication that says that they're here and they don't want to cause harm. This is just for whatever reason in Phoenix that one time for the Phoenix Lights, it was some sort of maybe they were proving something to the government. You know what I mean? Maybe they called somebody's bluff. Maybe it was negotiation. Who knows? But they were telling the people underneath, we're not a threat. This is a demonstration. We're not here to hurt anybody. So crazy stuff, right? Crazy stuff, Ash?
It is pretty crazy. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you now. Good. Now.
Awesome. I tried a few things, like
yeah,
the human village nearby.
Yeah, you shake this elbow, you shake that elbow. Sometimes shit works. You never know. All right, so yeah, did you hear about that? And go ahead, continue.
Yeah, no. There's an interesting fact. If you study the abduction phenomenon, you find that a lot of abductees. There's all this weird crap. There's like lots of weird stuff, mantis beings, and you guys know I love mantis beings and all that stuff. But one of the weird phenomenon is that people are being prepped, and so they're being trained or prepped, or when they have regressive therapy, they remember this stuff. But that training and prepping is super like the aliens basically seem like during the abductions, if this stuff is true, they seem like they can suppress your memories, and they super suppress that information. And they basically will say they teach them or download information to them, and that when the time comes, they will have this information, that they will be ready. Well, some of these abductees are like in their 50s. So if you believe this, that time has to happen in the next at least 20 years, right? So if aliens are making demonstrations, or they're kind of controlling their own narrative, they're pushing their own thing, maybe they have their own plan, right? Their own agenda, time frame. So I know a lot of people are skeptical, but I think at least stage 1 of disclosure is going to happen within our lifetime, whether it's them or us or whatever.
Yeah, I am skeptical in that manner, only because I just don't think that the government is capable, right? It's like, unfortunately, we're in the 1984 world where the government can never admit they're wrong to us. It's like the China thing with the coronavirus, right? It's like you have to be loyal to the state. The state is never wrong. If the state is wrong, no, you're wrong. We erase you, and then we just continue with our narrative, right? I kind of feel we're in that. What would you say, in that transition period here, where, like, it would be one thing if the government came out and said, okay, we blew it, we misreported this, or we didn't say that when we should have. And you never hear that, right? Like, literally turn on the news ever and hear like some government official saying, yeah, well, we blew it because at the time we thought we should say this, because politically it would have benefited this or that. You know what I mean? Like, you never hear anybody backtracking and apologizing in the government. Right? It's like the Twitter mobs that are like screaming for you to apologize for calling him or her or whatever. Like, this is what's happening. But the government is never in a position where they apologize to anybody, right? And so we find ourselves now, we're talking about disclosure. We're talking about aliens. We're talking about the literally the largest possibility of alien life possibly have contacted us previously, the governments know about. And somehow, some way, us here, the plebs, right? The unwashed masses, we're out here knowing nothing except for the disinformation and for what the clickbait artists and what the people telling the truth, right? We're trying to parse the data and come up with a conclusion. I don't know. I don't have a conclusion. It scares the hell out of me because think about it this way. The more people tell the truth, they just pour out more disinformation to flood it out. You know what I mean? Like, it's an easy equation these days. Right.
Well, I think the Area 51 raid was, and I mentioned this before, it was a direct counter to the whole Bob Lazar thing. The Bob Lazar thing, Joe Rogan is the biggest podcast in the world. Podcast, and it had so much momentum that they basically pushed it into this stupid, like, Area 51 raid, got it a bunch of coverage, and it kind of made it stupid again, right? It went from like, holy crap, like my friend's dad watch that podcast. And he's never talked about any of this. He's may have mentioned it. So, I'm having this conversation with normies about this, and then all of a sudden squandered, right? Area 51, partying out in the desert. I really think that was like a government psyop. It was quite genius, actually.
Well, not only that,
It's
think
scary,
about it this
but
way.
genius.
But here's the crazy part. So it could have been. So if it was our government psyop, that's one thing. But what if it was like a Russian or a Chinese or a North Korean state psyop, right? Or one of our adversaries. I'm not going to say enemy because I just don't think people are enemies. We're in this together. We're in the same damn boat, and the boat is the damn Earth. But like you think about it, and if it's simply a matter of getting a team of people to push this to become viral, then you know what I mean. It could be anybody. This could be a hacker group. This could be a rogue, whatever. It's absurd. This is the world we live in. This is the data we have to parse. This is the stuff we have to consider, and all this could be true. Literally all the shit I just said, which seems absurd and ridiculous, right? Though how less absurd and ridiculous that aliens are here and they're ruling the world, right? Like again, we're flipping coins here and rolling the dice. I don't know. As Sean made a good comment, we're rolling the dice, get snake eyes. Damn. Damn. Yeah, I mean, it's the truth. We got a call coming in. Anything else on that before we take this call and move on there? We got other clips to play. We're still talking about what we're talking about tonight. If you're joining us tonight, just now, this is about disclosure. This is about aliens. This is about the government and the major corporations of the world. That we're why do we have these conflicting narratives? Why do we have some people saying yes, some people saying no, and then the information flooding out on a daily basis on both ends? It's crazy to think about. It's crazy to follow, and then it's crazy to really pick the truth out of it. It's unfortunate, right? The truth. My God, the truth. The truth used to be so simple 30 or 40 or 50 or 60 years ago, but my God, in today's age, the truth.
It's tough, man. Well, yeah, just on kind of that note, just to support that information. So what I was trying to say before I melted or whatever, I don't know exactly what happened. If you guys are familiar with Grant Cameron's work, he's a kind of like up there with like Linda Holt Moulton Howe, and he does a lot of research. And I really like his stuff. He's a very practical kind of guy. But he says a bunch of insiders. He knows a bunch of insiders, including with Tom DeLonge, and he mingles with those guys, that disclosure will be dripped out over time, that a president will not officially release the document. They were released through Hollywood, Ancient Aliens, and those kind of mediums. That way they don't really lose control over the situation. And he was asked why do it that way? Well, he claims that the military doesn't really know exactly what they're dealing with, that no one knows what the whole thing is, whether it's extra-dimensional consciousness, remote viewing aliens, and that aliens call the shot, and that we don't really know the phenomenon. So that's what he says, and that's what his insiders say. So it may be the military pushing him in one direction, or maybe the truth. Who knows?
Exactly, maybe the truth. Like I said, the truth, the dirty truth. Here we find ourselves.
Sean says the truth. You can't handle the truth.
Exactly. You can't handle the truth.
Probably not.
I don't believe that at all. That's what they want us to believe, right? That's the psyop. The psyop is you can't handle the truth, right? That's the predictive programming of shows like that. You can't handle the truth. We have to handle the truth for you because you can't handle it yourself. All right, we get a call coming in. We're going to take that in just a sec. Quick shout out to C. Peterson. What's up? I see you on YouTube. Thanks for showing up, buddy. Appreciate all the guys, all of you hanging out, guys, gals, everything in between. Aliens, cryptids, whatever you are, whoever you are. We appreciate you hanging out, and we know it's a long show. There's a lot to talk about, but think about it, right? If you turn on any news source and you want you're like, oh, this is a topic I'm interested in, and you turn on whatever, CNN or Fox News, they talk about it for like 3 minutes, right? They get like a 3-minute segment, and then they have like a panel yelling at each other, and then they go to commercial. You know what I mean? Like, you don't get shit. That's why we do it this way. It's called long form talk radio. That's the format. And so the reason why we do it this way is because it's important, because there's a lot more words that can be said in 3 minutes with people screaming at each other. And so that's why we do it. So we're going to take this phone call. What's up again? C. Peterson on YouTube and everybody else that's out there listening. Thanks, Paul, for the call. And we're going to take this call right now. All right. You're on Trouble Minds with Ash and Mike. What's your first name? Where are you calling from?
This is Chris from Northeast Georgia.
Chris from Georgia. What's happening, my man? What's on your mind tonight?
How you doing, Chris?
Well, after listening to just fine. After listening to the show for a little bit, I just kind of want to connect the dots a little bit. From what I've gathered, I've studied not only recent sightings but historical sightings. Some of the first paintings of UFOs were done way, way back in like the 1200s in China, and some even predate Christianity altogether. From what I've gathered, up to about 5,000 years ago, there wasn't just one race, but many races that were mining here on Earth. And all of them kind of went in together and created these different hybrids. That's how you get the different races of mankind. What it is each race was responsible for their hybrids. Well, when the time came about 2,000 years ago for them to leave, they tried to erase most of the records and stuff that we had. And the reason being is they wanted us to develop our own society. Now they're coming back and they're pressing not only the military and all the top 1%ers to come forth with disclosure and tell the public about it, because their society is more of a mutual thing. It's everybody, if you need something, you get it. They have the technology to refine materials almost instantaneously and configure them kind of like a molecular 3D printer. Now that they're coming back and they have all this technological superiority, they've been around for thousands of years longer than us. Each race that had a hybrid is trying to come to basically a mutual decision on how our solar system will be governed by them as a collective. Kind of like if you want a symbol of peace, you create one.
Right.
But
okay.
There are some that have,
I got you.
Have interactions that are negative towards each other.
Right.
And
so
that's
basically,
where the big dilemma's coming in.
Right. So what you're describing here is like exopolitics, basically. You're saying that there are multiple factions of ETs, and they're actually positioning themselves in a exopolitical way to really gain dominion over the earth. It's almost like let's say Russia moving into Crimea. It's like or into the Ukraine. It's like it's the same sort of thing, right? Where they're like, okay, well, we have all these different factions competing. Earth is maybe interesting for multiple reasons. We have tons of people here. We have they're actually technologically advanced or advancing, and maybe a consciousness that we can't touch, which has been kind of bandied about, that maybe that's why they're interested in us, because there's some sort of Borg or as people progress and live longer, they're going to replace our body parts with electronic parts. And if that's the case for aliens or whatever race happens to be, they're interested in us because we're still completely organic, right? Like I get it. I get what you're saying here, and why? Like why? Okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Just breaking it down on what I think here.
Oh, that's fine.
And then Ash, you got the next one, Ash.
Actually, that's fairly close. Think of it more like we are being brought into a state of being technologically as well as in our own awareness, to where we can interact with them kind of like their children growing up, where yes, they will take over, but only for a short time. It's basically to prepare our society to get us up to speed, so that when we take our seat next to them on this kind of like a galactic council, we'll have earned that right. We spent 2,000 years building our own technology, exploring our own points of view on reality and the way time and space intermingle. But the truth is, time and space is relevant only to the perceiver. Thought is actually the top dog when it comes to the fabric of the universe. And these ultra-dimensional beings that are way many levels above us live in multiple dimensions and multiple realities as multiple beings all at once. I see ourselves more as a fragment of what mankind would consider a soul. As each reality passes on, that soul becomes more in tune with the ones that are left. And as that grows, we as a species grow to a greater understanding. And they're fascinated by this process because in mankind, for the first time, they're seeing this process. Yes, it's as a hybrid, but it's a hybrid of all of them. And some of them might not have considered that they have this type of ability to evolve mentally, and that mental evolution causing a physical change.
No, this is a good point. If I study the abduction phenomenon and the remote viewing, and based on that scenario, it seems based on that data, it seems as if there's these like different groups and governments, and they're kind of hovering above Earth, trying to kind of recruit us, right? Trying to absorb them into their empire. And when they remote viewed, they saw reptilians and grays and all these different kind of hybrids. So like this halfway point genetically from the two of us. And these reptilians, these grays, when they went into them, felt honored to be this next level. It's almost like humans are special, and that it's good for them to absorb us in. Like we're maybe not as advanced, civilization wise and technology wise, and there's a lot to learn from them. There's also a lot for them to gain from us. So I think there's this kind of like mutual point. And let's hope, it sounds like you're coming from the point of view that aliens are the majority of them, at least government structure, whatever, is somewhat benevolent, right? And let's hope that's the case.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
Basically, the way they're structuring the government is to help us better ease into a galactic society or a galactic trade kind of mutual thing. Think kind of like Star Trek.
Right, right. But there's kind of a standard, right? There's like a standard where, a lot of them have telepathy. That could be technology or whatever. In that, in our current state, we can't really fully integrate. Kind of like if we met a tribe out in the woods, right? You can't really hand them a smartphone and be like, "All right, start working."
Well, that's just it. Their genetic modifications evolved us way faster than I think most of them evolved. And in doing so, it forced some evolutionary changes that they had never seen before. And it sets us apart from them, but at the same time, us being part of them, there's still that telepathic link, that vibrational connection between the two. The entirety of the universe can be broken down into energy particles and vibrational wavelengths. If you take a wave and place it in a three-dimensional, kind of construct, what you would get is a ball that had a vibrational solidity. And it is the fact that ours is able to tune into the higher planes of existence. Our fragments are able to tune into that overall consciousness that fascinates them. And I think it's a rare trait for a species to have that. One of my friends once told me, he said, you take any quality on any species, and if you look back, the most primitive of that quality when it first starts out is usually the strongest. And that's where we are. We're far more advanced physically and mentally than we are as far as society and technology is concerned. And what they're trying to do is they want to basically guide us to where our society and our technology can reach that level that's equal with our mental capabilities.
Hey,
from the remote viewing perspective, it seemed as if our development in some way or another, spiritually or whatever, is more advanced. And like I said, it was an honor to become a hybrid. It's like they're almost like jumping in and like riding humanity to the next level. It's very fascinating. It kind of correlates with what you're saying.
Yeah, and I believe that in any species, you're going to have what they call near-death experiences. Well, some beings, when they cross over that threshold, are able to bring part of that higher self back with them. And when this happens, it's kind of like a signal to all the other races that are involved that those beings have reached that physical level to where that physicality and that mental state can actually connect. That's what they would see as the difference between a very primitive species, like say a cat or a dog, and a higher species like mankind considers themselves to be.
Yeah. We're with you, man. You are too smart for us, to be honest. Let me ask you a question. So you're from Georgia, yeah?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so explain to me how the entire mainstream media says people from Georgia are just unbelievably stupid. Can you explain that?
Because most of the time it's propaganda. They will find the dumbest person in the crowd, and that's the one they pick for on TV because it's the most entertainment.
Yep, I knew the answer. I was just, I'm just saying, like, look, guys, look. This is the thing. These are the smart individuals that listen to this show and call and contribute and type in the chat and join the Discord, please, Chris. You're amazing. But that's kind of my point, right? Like if you listen to the mainstream media, they say people from Georgia are just Southern bumpkins that don't know shit about shit, right? If you don't live in Washington D.C. or New York City or San Francisco, you're a knucklehead. You don't know shit about shit. I don't know, man. I would put my money on Chris from Georgia any day. You're a smart man. Thank you for calling. You're amazing. You're amazing, man. We got to move on. But anything else before we move on to the rest of the show here?
Well, I mean, all I can really say to the listeners is do your research. Look back at the trends over the past, say, 5,000 years. Think in a longer span than just 100 years or so. And look at the trends on stuff that's been being hid. Anything that supposedly could have been a higher technology or had supernatural powers has been hid. Because there is a better connection between mental and physical than most people believe there are.
Yeah, agreed 100%. Yeah, agreed 100%. Again, Chris, is this your first time calling? I think it's your first time calling, yeah?
Second
time, okay.
No,
all right.
Second.
All right. Forgive me. There's a lot of people to call.
That's fine. Yeah.
My point is, would you call more often, man? We need more of Chris from Georgia is my point. That's what I'm trying to say. Please, we appreciate you listening a lot. And more importantly, we appreciate your input because holy shit, like I said, you're too smart for us. Like the information you got there, man, is hot. It is hot. So please call back. Please, again, we're honored that you listen to us and honored that you share your wisdom. Thank you very much, man.
I appreciate it. And I'll try to call more often.
You got it, buddy. You got it. Thank you so much. Have a great night. That's Chris from Georgia. There you go. Simple as that. Like I said, right? It's easy to malign people based on where they live or what their accent might be, or how much money you think they might make, or all these things, right? Like, no, that's not the case at all, is it? That's not the case at all. Chris from Georgia. There you go. You listen to the mainstream media, they say everybody from Georgia is a bumpkin retard. Nope. Sorry. Nope, not Chris. It just ain't the case. I'm just saying, right? Like I hate to swing a little politically, but I mean, there's smart people all over the damn map, and we got a lot of smart people listening. Thank you again, Chris. You're amazing. Go ahead.
With the internet these days, if you're out in the bumpkins, and I've grown up out in the bumpkins, what else you got to do? So you go on the internet, you learn, you have access to all the information. So anyone can be smart. It's almost kind of like whoever gets indoctrinated and can't think for themselves, those are the dummies now. There's a lot of college educated people who do stupid stuff, and I'm like surprised, and they're like in their own echo chambers.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
We all have access to information. But he made a good point, and I just want to say, he's right. It's kind of like if you look at the abduction phenomenon, it's like they're very careful not to hurt people and whatever. It's almost like they don't want to create bad PR, right? The aliens, so that they can bring us into their empire. They can make us one. And he's right about thinking about back in the time, right? You could say maybe they could traverse time at any point. Maybe they went back thousands of years and created Homo sapien or updated them from Neanderthal or whatever, so that we are more genetically compatible with them, so that they could create this this bridge between us. And if you look, a lot of these alien groups have lost their abilities to reproduce, and we kind of, being genetically similar enough, have supplemented that for them. So there's a lot of pros and cons that they're interested in humans, it seems, and hopefully, what they have to bring to the table for us too, right? It could be a happy story. I hope it works out that way.
Yeah, certainly. We got a great comment. What's up, Robert? Thanks for showing up. And Elizabeth, I see you on Facebook. Thanks for showing up, guys. And John, did he ever see Bigfoot? Good comments here. So Robert says, I think the aliens are more interested in our technology than our government is interested in theirs. Though these beings have interdimensional crafts, they actually have nowhere near the cornucopia of technological innovations we have, both past and current. I really doubt they have TVs or cell phones. Bet they never had railroads either. And of course, that's tongue in cheek. He's making fun of us, or not really us, making fun of the situation. But I'm not so sure that's the case. I think that that's the point, right? I don't think aliens are. Let's say, thought experiment. They come here. I don't think they're interested in our technology. I think they're interested in maybe how far along we are in our technology, because of course they're clearly ahead of us. But I think maybe. Think about, like I said, imagine ourselves. So aside from aliens, you don't talk about aliens, right? Just humanity 1,000 years from now. We're going to be like cars, right? It's going to be transhumanism. We're going to be able to be like, oh, I got a bad alternator, which is your kidney. We're going to come into the shop and they're going to swap it out for a new one, right? Like a new DNA kidney. Like they're gonna you submit your kidney 6 weeks beforehand, your DNA, and then they build you a new one. You go in and they swap it out, right? It's going to be like an alternator or like a transmission, and so this is the type of thing, right? So that's kind of the point. I don't think that they're necessarily interested in the technology. I think they're interested in the fact that we are not at that technology yet, and so we're squishy meat puppets that have some level of consciousness that maybe they are not in tune to, or you know what I mean? Maybe they
also
envy.
Like if you think of the physical gray, they're like to have short bodies and tiny. It's kind of like if you have all these different civilizations and there's like a tier list of advancement, the ones down the tier list, down the progression chart, are going to be more physically adept, right? They're going to be stronger, fighting lions, whatever. Even just look at our society today. Like if you took like an average person who goes to Starbucks and stuff, you threw them out in the woods, they're probably not going to make it, And but there are people on this planet who live outside of our society, and they're strong and they know how to survive, and so there's of interest for that kind of thing. And so yeah, maybe the more advanced civilizations reap genetic benefit from the less advanced ones. And that, I mean, if you just look at from the 60s and different, just recently, as people were already hunching over our computers and we're already starting to kind of like transform, right?
Yeah, well, and exactly. And that's the thing, right? So I know Robert was tongue in cheek with that comment. They're not really here for our technology, clearly. But if they are here, again, let's thought experiment, right? I don't think anybody here is like emphatically saying they're here, and a gray alien lives next door to me, and on the other side is a reptilian or a mantis. But kind of the point is, like, if they're here, then they're probably hiding from us, and if they're hiding from us, why are they interested in us? I think that's the question here. So anyway, like, that's why we talk about this. That's why again, if it's woo woo for you, fine. Like, but it's what you don't get on the mainstream. It's fine. We're totally good. We're good here. We have no sponsors to pacify. Yeah,
you got to go out in left field, right field,
yeah,
midfield. Until you find the ball, right?
Yeah, exactly.
You
right.
don't know.
So, yeah. So there's that. So there's all, again, you guys know our thoughts, but as you always know, if you listen to this show, our thoughts are just thoughts to start the conversation. We are not trying to tell anybody the truth about anything. All right. So this. if you listen. And so make up your own mind. Take the data we tell you from what we've seen and heard, and we cite our sources in many cases, in most cases. And you can follow up and go to YouTube and the website and find all our sources that we cite for this stuff. We got YouTube videos where other people have claimed this. We got mainstream media claims of this or that or the other. Anyway, blah blah, so on and so forth. Let's finish this up. What you got for disclosure? The rest. We'll skip all the alien signals. So you're up to finish this, Ash.
All right, let's knock this sucker out of the park, guys. Okay, so we're gonna skip over this, but I'm just gonna gloss over it real quick. There's the I think the biggest disclosure piece was the Navy footage, or the gun camera footage, and then the Navy confirming that there were UFOs, right? So those are the big, we're talking about disclosure. Those are the two probably the biggest things to happen, because they're official statements. You can now kind of plant your feet from that perspective. Look, the Navy admitted it, and kind of duke it out with the mainstream, with the normies, right? From that perspective. So with that pushing forward, glossing over, Tucker Carlson had a special about UFOs, and he's had it consistently. Speaking of mainstream, whether you like Fox News or Tucker Carlson, it doesn't matter. We can all agree that it's super mainstream AF. Excuse my terrible lame acronym, but yeah. So recently, Tucker Carlson had someone on there, and they were talking about extra dimensional stuff, and they had a guy in there basically saying it's not from us. And I mean, this is like the older generation is like, they're getting red pilled or exposed to this kind of information. So it's really amazing. So, but at the end of the day, it's why is disclosure coming? So I found this really interesting clip, and it's by a congressman who was just recently briefed by some component of the government. So we're going to play this clip, right? So we have Space Force going on, there's abductions going on, there's all this stuff going on in the background, and people are wondering what's true and what isn't. So this is what Congress is being classified, right? And so it's not what he says, it's what he alludes to, right? So we're going to go ahead and play the first clip. Excuse the crazy ominous music. It's kind of tasteful, but yeah, let's play the first clip.
This is
listen to what this guy says.
This is Blumenthal, first clip.
Yeah.
All right, and
this is a congressman who's just briefed.
Okay, perfect. Playing it. 3, 2, 1, action.
Thank you, Senator Reid. Thank you all for being here today, and thank you for your service. I've been in and out as I've attended other committee hearings, and I sort of feel like the most important facts for us and the American people to understand are the facts that haven't been said today. And the reason why they haven't been said is that they are largely classified. And the reason that's important is that the American people have no idea, really no idea, about the immensity of the threat in space. And I've made this comment in a classified setting, that I wish the American people could be present in this room.
Okay, you check that. So he's saying that okay, so from an insider's perspective, this guy's a senator, right? And he's saying that there is a tremendous threat in space. And he's implying heavily, without actually saying the words, right? Like, read between the lines. He's saying that we might be in danger here. Like, there's kind of like we said, the exopolitics when Chris from Georgia called earlier. Like, maybe there's multiple factions like kind of battling for the dominion of Earth, and if that's the case, then Earth is kind of like the fifth world slave state. So, yeah, I don't know. That's crazy,
huh?
That's crazy. Yeah,
it's kind of like how we go to the Middle East, right? And that's where fights are happening. It's kind of like the edge of the empire. Who knows, right? So, is this? Are we talking about China? Are we talking about Russia? Are we talking about aliens? What are we talking about? I think the next clip. Let's go right into the next clip, and then we'll talk about it. But I want you to pay attention. He says, we know what they are doing. Our adversaries know what they are doing. And listen to comma in a sentence. He's not talking about his adversary. He's talking about a third. So let's go ahead and listen to it.
All right, you're cutting out again. I don't know if it's an audio, like an actual hardware thing, or it's your internet, but cutting out again. Okay, we're gonna play his next clip, and then we'll finish this up. We're at the end of this, guys. Here's the clip, and then so we're talking about disclosure. We're talking about so this is Senator Blumenthal, and so he's talking about, so that first clip was him. This is the next clip, and this is him. And here we go, action.
Not this room, but the skiff, because our adversaries know what they are doing. We know what they are doing. They know we know what they are doing. But the American people have no idea. And so this discussion and debate will have very little interest in the American public. It's carried on in a level of, forgive me, bureaucratic language that most Americans would have trouble seeing an immediacy in their daily lives. But if they were privy to what we hear, and you know it much better than we do because you live it, I think they'd be pretty alarmed. And this is not by way of criticism of you, because you're living with the strictures of what is classified and not. But I think we have a real obligation to explain to the American people why space is a domain that matters, why the threats there are real and urgent, why they are growing in importance.
Yeah, so you catch that, right? So this is Senator Blumenthal, and he's literally saying that there's a danger there. And by not actually bringing this to the public, to the American people, he says, right? This is one of those terms that drives me insane, because it's overused like hell. Because they say, oh, we got to do this for the American people, and they're full of shit. They're all full of shit. That's the thing, right? When you hear that term, no, they're pandering like assholes. My opinion, right? One man's opinion. But they overuse the term because they want you to think they care about you and me and everybody else. And I don't know, but the way this guy's using the term, though, it doesn't seem like he's like, vote for me. He's like, holy shit, I think people need to actually be informed about this. I don't know. It seems like for once, refreshingly, the term "the American people" actually maybe means something, unless he's just a gigantic disinformation agent. Who knows, man?
Yep.
Yeah. Right.
What do you think about that, man? That's pretty. Huh?
Yeah, it's dicked. I mean, if they know, and they've known, and they have known, and they continue to know, and they're talking about this in committee behind closed doors, and it never really gets out. And so all we get is God bless him, John Greenwald Jr. and Muckrock and people like this that are actually out there, getting FOIA documents. Even that's getting smacked down in many cases. If we can't, if they don't tell us, we can't know. And if they don't give us information on the documents, we can't know. And if they, you know what I mean? So all we are is speculation. And the thing is, it's been stigmatized for so damn long, this UFO bit, right? It's been stigmatized for so long that if you even bring it up, you're the kook, you're the knucklehead, you're the conspiracy theorist, you're the tinfoil hatter, you're the guy who doesn't belong in society. You probably can't even hold a job, right? You're probably from a southern state and you're dumb as hell, right? This is the thing. These are, you know what I mean? This is the narrative that they're feeding us. And I don't know. Yep. I don't know. We've heard from a lot of people on this show. There's a lot of smart people that listen to this show. You know what I mean? Ash and I aside, we're knuckleheads. But for the rest of you guys, I'm telling you, we've got some amazing input. We've got some amazing actual commentary on this, and some amazing shared videos and stuff on Discord. I mean, I don't know. That's kind of the point, right? You crowdsource the show, and you get enough people that with enough good information, then I don't think you can believe this narrative. I think when you get enough information and you get enough people behind the movement, I think you can't believe these assholes. That's kind of
right.
what we come down to. So yeah,
it's tough to discern the truth. Are they feeding him? He's clearly concerned, right? One way or another. Is he talking? Is he talking about a third party? Is his language talking about the Chinese? Because we know they're in space. Are they feeding him misinformation to keep their military budget going? Right? Is it all bullshit? Or is this whole abduction hive thing that I've talked about? Are they breeding an army? Are they going to? Are they breeding an army to contest with us? Are we in alliance with another alien species? Maybe this hive entity against reptilians who are coming to fight us? Are we fighting in a war in their behalf? Like it's hard to like we don't really know, and our government keeps us in the dark, right? Um, and the closest thing that we have to the truth was probably what we just watched.
Yeah,
and it doesn't tell us shit.
Sadly, sadly. So again, about parse the data, look at the news reports, listen to what we talk about, right? And the thing is, we don't know. Like, well, we don't know. And I encourage you. I encourage everybody, right? One man's opinion, but I encourage you. If anybody out there tells you they know all the details about all the things, you should be extremely skeptical. Because that's what you call a demagogue. That's what you call somebody starting their own religion. That's what, you know what I mean? Like if they're not saying, well, what do you think? You know what I mean? Like you should contemplate reality, parse the information yourself, and make up your own mind. Well, then they're not really like what would you say? Like treating you like a sheep, are they? They're not trying to shepherd the sheep.
Yeah, they have their own agenda.
Yeah. I mean, you know what I mean? Like the thing is, the more one man's opinion, everybody chill. The more somebody tells you they know all the answers, probably the less that is the case. So again, the reason why we do the show, because there are no answers. I don't think there is. Like I think the truth is subjective as hell, and it depends on who you ask. And of course, like that's why we talk about it. We think it's worth the conversation. We spent hundreds of hours at this point on this show talking about these things. Why? Right? Yeah, right. Because we're going to be picked up by Fox News and they think we're the next hot thing. No, hell no. Of course not. Because we think the conversation is important. Because we think that listening to this type of fringe analysis is important, right? Not conspiracy theory. It's fringe analysis, and we're wrong. Yeah, we're wrong. Guess what? But we're also right. So it's up to you to decide how much you think is which and which. And there we go. We're at the end of this. So let's finish this up. Let's finish this up. What else you got on the docket there? And let's end this, Ash.
Hey, unfortunately, I'm having like mic issues. Everyone's complaining. I don't want to talk for too much longer and not make everyone suffer. But yeah, basically, what do you guys think? That's kind of it. I guess we're at here at the end of the show. I just wanted to kind of show you that stuff is happening. I think that our callers are right. That our first caller mentioned that this has kind of been cyclically happening for a while. But I feel like for whatever reason, I think now the wheels are in motion, whether it's in behoots of the government. But it seems like it's coming around the corner, and I hope I presented a good argument for that. And also, just kind of more information to correspond with some of the narratives out there. And Mike's right. We don't know. I definitely have no idea which one it is. It could be all of them at once to some degree. It could be none of those. And that's kind of why I'm here to have a conversation with you guys. That's why we're here, right? To figure it out. And we don't know. We don't have all the answers. And I'm just like you guys. I'm tired of meeting people who do have all the answers, and it just sounds crazy, right? You're like, what the hell? Like blue chickens and stuff like that, But we have to have these conversations. This stuff is important. Goods. Right. Not to call one person out,
But hi, Corey Good. How you doing, buddy?
But no, look, he said the American people should know, and you guys should feel good. You're smart enough, like listen to the show, like you're interested in this stuff. You're paying attention. Something is happening. You're right. Something's happening. What it is, I don't know. Just as much as you guys don't know. But glad to be here and have this conversation. And let's see where it goes. We'll keep tabs on this, on disclosure. It's one of my hobbies to keep up on.
There we go, and we'll continue. We'll continue the conversation about all the things, right? So, like we say, it's always the government, the major corporations, the technocracy, it's academia, it's all of the, and like again, like they're not the eternal villains. We enable them in many cases, right? Like we drink the nectar of the media. Let's say they give it to us, right? They give us what we want with the clicks and the clickbait headlines and these things, and we encourage them by clicking these things, by consuming their content. And I think that's part of the problem, right? So you know what I mean? So we can't entirely malign, all of the people that are really ruining the world. I'm saying we have to take like a small stake blame, because we click the things, we consume the things, and it's part of the reason why you're here, right? Like, how the hell did you hear of us? I don't even know how you found us. I think it's a small miracle. Like, a few people found us, but there's dozens, hundreds, thousands of people listening to us, so it's like, I don't know. Again, I don't know. Like, it's weird how these things happen, but the most important thing is you, and the most important thing is what you think about it. And the most important thing is how you personally stick with logic and reason and your own experience, and don't listen to a bunch of propaganda and BS. So hopefully you come here because we're not trying to propagandize you and not trying to convince you of this or that. Anyway, the conversation continues. We're going to continue this conversation. It's the end of the night. It's the end of the night. I'm cueing the outro music. We're doing this. Let's see which one's the one. This is the one right here. So we're going to finish this. But if you want to join us for the rest, and as this conversation continues about this and many other things, because there are many other things important as well as this, we're going to continue talking about them. It's what we do. It's why we started the show. It's why we continue the show. It's why the show hasn't died to this point. Reach aside, growing a little bit every day. But I think the things we talk about are way more important than the mainstream, and they're making trillions of dollars every year. We are battling, spending money. Yeah, hell yeah. If you combine all the mainstream medias, hell yes, it is. Definitely dozens of billions a year at least. Okay, let's say that. Let's scale it back.
I'm doing morning shows. I'm going to have some mimosas and talk about
exactly. It's not about
I'm selling out, boys.
Yeah, exactly. It's not about the more you talk, the more you make. You have to talk about the right things, and then they pay you the big bucks. Which the right things are what they tell you to say. But anyway, we don't say what we're told to say. We say what we want to say. We hopefully say what you want to hear, and what you think is important to hear about. So there we go. So there it is. We're done. We're finishing this, and at the end.
Good day.
Oh shit, that's the wrong button. Oh shit.
That's a good button though. I like
that's a good button. I like that, right? With the devil. No, we're gonna go with this.
Oh yeah, we should have had that for the witch show.
We'll do that for the we'll do that for the devil show. All right, here we go. So at the end, you're listening to Troubled Minds Radio. I'm your host, Michael Strange. Oh boy, live shows. I tell you what. I'm here with your co-host, Ash the Reptilian from Mars. You guys are amazing. Thanks for sticking with us. We know it's a long show, etc., so on. It's that way for a reason, because you can't get information in a 3-minute segment squeezed in before a commercial. You just can't. And we think the conversation is more important than that. And so we think it's important to give it more time than that, and we do. So here we are at the end. I don't know what to say other than thank you. Thank you. If you're out there listening somewhere, this only exists because of you. Literally, if nobody was listening to us at this point, we would have quit. We would have stopped. This would not continue, because I could talk to myself. Ash can talk to himself in the corner of our own rooms. No, it's not the case. This is only anything because of you guys. So thanks for sticking with us. I can't say thank you enough to each and every one of you that contributes in chat, that listens, that calls in. Chris, Paul from New Hampshire, Chris from Georgia. Thanks for calling in tonight. You guys are amazing. Todd Kelly, all the usual guys, all the usual folks. Sean from Canada, the usual guys. Right? If I missed you, you'll forgive me. We'll catch you on Discord. Join the Discord, troubleminds.org. Join the Discord. The conversation goes on 24 hours a day. People share links. People share information. Lots of smart folks. Involved.
On behalf of those folks, Mike, I'd like to say thank you, man, for putting on a show. Good production and providing an outlet for everyone. So I know I'm speaking for these guys, but yeah, thanks, man.
Thank you. That's nice of you. I appreciate that. And again, thank you to Ash the Reptilian for dealing with my audio mix-ups, because 95% of this shit is my fault. So if it sucks, it's me. But here we go. We're done. Thank you again, Ash. Thank you again, everybody. We're at the end. If you want to join us, Tuesday, Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific, 11 p.m. Eastern, we're live. Join us then. We'll catch you the next time. Thanks for sticking with us. You guys are all the best. And yeah, I guess at the end.
That's it.
That's it. From our trouble.
Let's do it.
Let's do it. From our troubled minds to yours. Thanks for listening, guys. Have a great night.
Good night, y'all.